When Long Chun flew out of the coffin, he found that the intense rumbling came from the bow of the ship. Worried about Feng Yu, he didn't bother with the life form in the coffin anymore and immediately rushed off. When he got there, he saw Feng Yu surrounded by golden light, akin to flames burning around her. As for the corpse that Feng Yu called ancestor, it had turned into a pile of dust. The pile of dust still had specks of divine light within it. It then condensed into runes and flew toward her. All of a sudden, Feng Yu spat out blood, and a crack appeared on her forehead. Not good. Long Chun rushed forward and pressed a hand on her back. His own blood chi erupted as he helped her restrain and absorb those runes. Feng Yu's ancestor had too many powerful runes in its corpse. Long Chun didn't know whether it had gone dumb after not using its head for a while or if it simply didn't care about Feng Yu's survival, but it had fully stuffed all of those runes into Feng Yu. They were more than enough to kill her. Perhaps having been dead for too long, Feng Yu's ancestor didn't possess the ability to think of such a thing. It only instinctively transmitted its full legacy to Feng Yu. Millions of volcanoes seemed to explode inside Feng Yu. If it weren't for Long Chen's dragon blood power suppressing it, she would have turned to dust. Her ancestors' runes were not something she could digest yet, so she could only seal them for now and comprehend them at a later date. Unfortunately, she had lost consciousness, so Long Chun had to help her absorb all the runes. By the time Long Chun secured the final rune, he was drenched in sweat, having overdraft his dragon blood power to wrestle control over those runes. After resting for a bit, Long Chun carried Feng Yu and jumped off the ghost ship. Those Yin soldiers were still woodenly advancing, completely ignoring them. When they descended the ghost ship, the surroundings had changed. They found themselves in a wasteland, where sand and dust billowed with every step the Yin soldiers took, casting a hazy atmosphere over the area. Long Chun immediately distanced himself from the Yin soldiers. Although he wasn't afraid of their aura of decay, it still made him uncomfortable. It was like being underwater. Eventually, someone would drown, so they had to leave the water in order to breathe. Stop right there. Just as Long Chun escaped the haze created by the Yin soldiers, a cold shout echoed, and Long Chun sensed a silent arrow hurtling toward his back. The shout originated from the front, but the arrow came from the rear. So, if the shout drew Long Chun's attention, he wouldn't be able to dodge the arrow. The impact sent sparks flying around, accompanied by an explosion that caused Long Chun to stagger forward, nearly falling to the ground. Long Chun was enraged. He hadn't expected someone to sneak attack him here. It seemed that being on the ghost ship for too long had dulled his senses, causing him to react too late. Fortunately, the arrow had struck the blood-colored saber behind him. The silent arrow was powerful. Without the saber's protection, it would have pierced Long Chen's powerful physical body. As Long Chun assessed the situation, he spotted a winged man wielding a white bone bow. The arrow had indeed come from him, and the individual appeared equally shocked by the turn of events. As an expert amongst experts, this winged man knew that his arrow should have been lethal. Even if Long Chun had a divine weapon that could block it, the sheer impact alone should have shattered his insides. Feather race. Seeing those wings and sensing the familiar aura, along with the ephemeral archery techniques, Long Chun instantly recognized this person's background, and killing intent erupted within his eyes. "Stop right there, or I'll kill you!" the feather race expert shouted, and at the same time, one figure after another came flying out of the dust storm. To Long Chen's surprise, millions of the feather race's experts had gathered here. All of them were pointing their arrows at Long Chun, waiting for that person's order to turn Long Chun into a pincushion. Fuck! What kind of bad luck is this? Long Chun was enraged. It was evident that they had been hiding from the Yin soldiers the entire time, but he just had to run into them like this. Likewise, they could also tell that Long Chun had come from the ghost ship, so they wanted to stop him. "If you don't want to die, then scram!" roared Long Chun. "Courting death." Their leader was enraged as no one had ever dared to speak to him this way. The next moment, an arrow came flying off of his bow. He was incredibly fast to the point that it was almost impossible to see how he knocked his arrow before it was already right in front of Long Chun. This time, Long Chun was prepared. Holding Feng Yu in one hand, he swung his saber with the other. Boom! Long Chen's arm shuddered, and blood dripped down it. He couldn't help being startled. My powers dropped too much. It's definitely related to the ghost ship. To his surprise, something had silently stripped his power away without him even being aware of it. In his embrace, Feng Yu spat out blood, and it stuck to his chest and neck. In her incredibly weak state, the previous blow had partially reached her, and even though it was only the tiniest bit, it still injured her. Surrender and I'll spare your life. Otherwise, don't blame this young master for being ruthless, shouted the feather expert. He was in no rush to keep attacking and would rather capture both of them alive. Don't fight with them. I can help you block one attack. Just run. At this moment, Feng Yu woke up, and even in her weak state, she still offered to help Long Chun. Long Chen's fury ignited like a blazing inferno. If he didn't have to look after Feng Yu, even in his current state, he would have unleashed a slaughter. At the very least, he would have taken down half of them to send a clear message that Boss Long San was not to be trifled with. However, with Feng Yu injured and unable to fight, Long Chun restrained himself. Looking at their leader, he said, "Little bird, just you wait. If I don't break your legs and stick them up your butt, I won't be Boss Long San." Suddenly, Long Chen's Kuanping wings appeared on his back, and he shot out like a streak of lightning, courting death. That feather expert was enraged. How dared someone run in front of him? They were simply asking for it. With a swift motion, he unleashed another arrow. This time, the arrow soared through the air in a peculiar arc, disappearing into the void. In response, Long Chun spun in a strange manner, and that arrow narrowly missed him, flying past by his side. What? The feather expert was taken aback, not knowing that Long Chun also knew archery techniques. While Long Chun couldn't use many high-level techniques, it didn't mean he didn't know how to dodge them. Kill them. Long Chun was simply too fast, not allowing him to shoot a second arrow. Following his order, a torrent of arrows shot out. However, at this time, a golden shield materialized, adorned with an ancient phoenix design that came to life. The phoenix spread its wings and soared off the shield. Boom! The golden phoenix exploded in a burst of divine light, illuminating the surroundings. By the time the Feather Race's experts rushed to the scene, Long Chun and Feng Yu had vanished without a trace. The void twisted, revealing Long Chun and Feng Yu. Right now, Long Chun was covered in blood, but it was mostly Feng Yu's. Feng Yu had fallen unconscious again after blocking those arrows. Luckily, Long Chun had grasped that brief opening to carry out a spatial transportation and escape. Having escaped that wasteland, they were now above a lake. There was mist curling around the surface of the lake, limiting their sight. Long Chun immediately went still after arriving here. The surface of the water was frighteningly calm, so calm that there was very likely some terrifying existence down below. If he were to make any rash movements, he could draw out some monster. If he were alone, he naturally wouldn't be afraid. However, he had to carry an injured woman, so he had to be cautious. Sitting in midair, Long Chun held Feng Yu as she lay on him, her face contorted with pain. Long Chun knew that her condition was due to absorbing too many of those inheritance runes. They posed a heavy burden both to her body and soul. After thinking about it, Long Chun searched through his stock of medicinal pills and picked out his gentlest healing pill. As Feng Yu wasn't human, Long Chun was worried about her body's reaction to medicinal pills, so he didn't dare to pick out just any random one. Luckily, after he fed her this pill, her pale face quickly regained some color, and her condition stabilized, showing no signs of rejection. Long Chun observed for a while before he fed her another pill. Soon after, her aura started to rapidly recover, and her blood chi fluctuations strengthened as well. Since she has never consumed any pills before, they're many times more effective on her, sighed Long Chun. Constant consumption of medicinal pills could lead to the development of a powerful resistance, reducing the effectiveness of the pills. However, since Feng Yu had never consumed any pills before, there was no resistance to speak of, and the effects were remarkable. Long Chen observed as her breathing relaxed, and she gradually fell into a deep slumber. Her recovery rate was nothing short of astonishing. Feng Yu slept in Long Chen's embrace, her hair resembling strands of golden silk. Despite her sharp features exuding a heroic aura, they did not diminish her beauty. Holding this sleeping beauty, Long Chen couldn't help but feel his heartbeat quicken. After all, the curves of her body possessed a fatal attraction that would captivate any man. Long Chen closed his eyes and took a deep breath, controlling his emotions and preventing any of those thoughts from appearing in his mind. In fact, the best way he found to calm himself down was to think of Ying Tian's ugly face. As soon as Long Chen thought of Ying Tian, he calmed down. Ying Tian was absolutely terrifying. Even now, Long Chen had not managed to find out his true depth. With unfathomable power and the cunning of a fox, Ying Tian would flee at the first sign of danger. For Long Chen, an opponent with great strength wasn't the most daunting existence. It was someone who wielded both great power and patience that truly instilled fear in him. Suddenly, Feng Yu quivered and her body heated up. Following that, one rune after another appeared from beneath her skin and ignited, unleashing flames all around her. Damn it! Long Chen knew that the runes within her just started to awaken, igniting her core flame. During normal times it would not have been an issue. However, in her slumber, Feng Yu was unable to control the flames. Though they wouldn't harm her, there was no way for her to protect her clothes. This really is fatal, Long Chen exclaimed as Feng Yu's clothes quickly incinerated, fluttering away in the wind like butterflies. Her pale skin was fully exposed, along with areas that were normally concealed. Long Chen felt his head buzz instantly, his blood rushing to his head. He felt a nosebleed coming on. Fatal, absolutely fatal, Long Chen cursed. In an instant, the image of intimacy with Lang Yuan and Ming Tsongyue appeared in his mind. After tasting that flare, he knew he wouldn't be able to forget it. In truth, there were several occasions when he couldn't resist the temptation while he was with his women, but they all fled in embarrassment. They had agreed to wait until they were all together and married to him before sharing a room with Long Chen. Otherwise, it would be unfair to the others. Thus, up until now, even though he had many wives-to-be, the only ones to have done it with him were Lang Yuan and Ming Tsongyue. Normally, he would suppress his desires and wouldn't even dare to think about the two of them, because they would dredge up his most primitive desire. However, it was super awkward now. He was holding a large, naked beauty, and he felt like his heart would leap out of his chest. Ying Tian, Ying Tian, Ying Tian, come, big brother likes you. Ugh. As Long Chen forced himself to think about Ying Tian instead, he almost vomited. However, he instantly felt much better. If Ying Tian knew that someone was thinking about him, the #1 assassin of the Heavenly Province, an existence that caused countless experts to quiver in fear, to disgust themselves, he would perhaps lose his mind. With time, more and more runes appeared on Feng Yu, and the flames grew so intense that Long Chen had to summon his own flames to protect himself. If his own clothes were burned away, then his dry firewood would ignite again. All right, I'll give her some firepower. Long Chen took out another pill. However, as he didn't even dare to look at her or use his divine sense, he blindly fed her. Fortunately, he didn't feed the wrong spot. This pill was a sacred light snow lotus pill. When Feng Yu consumed it, her aura erupted, projecting a terrifying pillar of flames into the sky. As a result of this eruption, a sea of flames appeared over the lake, and a huge vortex formed in the water. At the same time, a frightening aura rose from below, indicating that there was something beneath the surface of the water. Suddenly, the surface of the lake rose, revealing an enormous head emerging from the water. It was an enormous python, and Long Chen jumped in shock at the sight. The python's head was triangular with two sides raised high, and its eyes were pitch black. Long Chen couldn't help but shiver when he saw it. A poison python. Long Chen had seen many pythons in his life, but it was his first time seeing one of these. It was the most terrifying existence among pythons. Holding Feng Yu, he directly flew away using his Kuanping wings. Although the python was a saint-level creature, its threat level to Long Chun was comparable to that of a sage king. As Long Chun made his move, the python opened its mouth, and a black mist instantly spewed out, causing the surrounding space to collapse. Long Chun and Feng Yu then found themselves enveloped in the black mist. "Crap!" Long Chun exclaimed in alarm. He realized that the mist contained spatial laws. Just as he was about to act, a gentle hand reached out and grabbed him. "Don't worry. Leave it to me." The one to hold Long Chun was Feng Yu. Blood-colored flames now burned in her eyes as a pair of wings spread behind her, casting divine light across the sky. In her hand, a golden spear materialized once more, and a resplendent phoenix cry echoed through the air. Runes illuminated all over her body, pulsating with power. Boom! Her spear shot out and blasted apart the python's poison domain, while her terrifying flames incinerated the mist. With a forceful strike, the spear slammed into the python's head, causing it to explode and release black liquid, which turned into black smoke upon contact with Feng Yu's flames. The air was now filled with poison smoke, but it was unable to penetrate Feng Yu's flame domain. Long Chun was stunned. After Feng Yu woke up, her power had multiplied, allowing her to kill this terrifying python in one blow. The python's corpse crashed into the lake, unleashing a huge wave. Long Chun almost didn't dare to believe his eyes. After all, Feng Yu's power had risen far too quickly. Feng Yu slowly flew toward Long Chun. In an instant, Long Chun felt his blood heat up, and he turned his face away. Feng Yu was enveloped in flames, with countless runes flowing around her, accentuating her beautiful figure. As Long Chun blushed and turned away, she smiled slightly at his reaction. "Am I beautiful?" asked Feng Yu, her voice containing a touch of shyness as well as a teasing note. "Yes." Long Chun kept his head turned away and closed his eyes, obediently telling the truth. "Sorry." Feng Yu suddenly sighed. "Why are you sorry?" asked Long Chun in confusion, still not daring to open his eyes. "I like you, but I can't give myself to you. For the next generation, my child must have a powerful father, and you—" Feng Yu awkwardly sighed. "You've saved me several times now. Under your human race's customs, the best way for me to repay you is with my body, but I'm sorry, I can't do that." Feng Yu was a member of the mixed beast race. According to their mating customs, to have better offspring, they always picked out the strongest mates they could. However, it seemed that Long Chun wasn't a suitable candidate in Feng Yu's eyes. Hearing that, Long Chun didn't know whether to laugh or cry. This large beauty was actually apologizing to him over this. "Long Chun, I really do like you. How about, after I have a child with someone strong, I will go with you?" asked Feng Yu. Long Chun almost passed out. "How could that be all right? Let's not talk about it for now. You should put on some clothes first." Feng Yu blushed. By the time Long Chun opened his eyes again, he found her dressed in her normal clothes. However, Long Chun's heart was still pounding hard from the earlier good show. "Long Chun, thank you. I know that you fed me precious medicinal pills. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to awaken dozens of my ancestors' runes at once." Feng Yu looked at Long Chun gratefully. Previously, she lacked a powerful divine ability to unleash her full power. As a result, she possessed immense endurance and toughness but lacked explosive might. However, with the inheritance of her ancestor and the assistance of Long Chun's pills, she managed to absorb dozens of runes, providing her with a method to unleash her full power in a single blow. It was like someone who had been fighting barehanded suddenly wielded a warhammer. Finally, she could unleash her full power and even slay that python in one blow. Filled with gratitude toward Long Chun and eager to repay him, Feng Yu saw the primal desire in Long Chun's eyes. However, she was unable to repay him that way, which filled her with guilt. After all, her status was not ordinary. Her child had to carry the fate of the mixed beast race. Thus, she couldn't afford to be willful. This realization weighed heavily upon her. She felt like Long Chun had done so much for her, but she was unable to repay him. Dozens of runes? They're that strong. Long Chun was startled. It had to be known that her ancestor had given at least hundreds of runes to her. If her power could grow so much just by absorbing a small portion of the runes, just how powerful would she be once she managed to absorb all of them? That's why I said that I really have to thank you. I don't dare to promise you anything, but I guarantee that as long as I'm here, no one in this world will be able to bully you. Feng Yu patted her chest confidently. Just then, the void quivered. They're coming, said Long Chen. It was the sign of a spatial transportation. Before going to the ghost ship, Long Chun had given the mixed beast races experts a formation disk and taught them how to use it. It was a fixed spatial transportation formation disk. Once it sensed Long Chen's existence, they could use it to come to him. A spatial gate appeared, revealing one figure after another. However, Long Chun and Feng Yu were startled to see many of them had blood on their bodies. What happened? Demanded Feng Yu angrily. That bastard Yen Baichen had his subordinates attack us. Fortunately, they didn't know that you weren't among us, so it was just a probing clash. After that, we seized the chance to escape and come here, replied one of the mixed beast races experts. Had Yen Baichen been aware of Feng Yu's absence, perhaps he would have launched a full-scale attack against them. While he wouldn't kill them all, he would capture and use them against Feng Yu. That bastard really is courting death. We're going back. I'll personally skin him. Feng Yu was enraged to hear that Yen Baichen had dared to attack her people. She was no longer the same person he used to be. Now, she was sure that she could make him pay dearly for his reckless actions. Long Chun waved his hand and collected the python's corpse. He lightly said, "There's no need for us to go after him. They're coming here." Following that, the distant void rumbled, and countless experts came flying over, led by Yen Baichen. In an instant, Feng Yu's gaze became icily sharp. As for Long Chun, a smile crept across his face. "You unlucky child. No one can save you now." When Yen Baichen led his people away last time, he was enraged but not thinking of declaring war against the mixed beast race. After probing Feng Yu several times, he felt like he might be a bit stronger than her. So, if he wanted to best her in combat, he would have to give his all. After all, killing her was out of the question as he wanted to win her over. Just like Feng Yu, he wanted a powerful companion to mate with. And he found Feng Yu's lineage, with its ancient phoenix blood, incredibly enticing. Because of that, Long Chen's appearance enraged him. He was unable to figure out why Feng Yu had fallen for such a weak fellow. After leading his people away, they had ended up far ahead of the mixed beast race. But coincidentally, the mixed beast race arrived right by their side through a transportation formation. This was part of a transportation formation set that Long Chen had given the mixed beast race. The good thing about it was that it could transport them through long distances, but the bad thing was that it needed to be carried out in segments. It just so happened that after locking down Feng Yu's location, the mixed beast race's experts used the formation to bring them there, but the third transportation brought them right next to Yen Baichen and the others. When the mixed beast race appeared, the resting Black Rock 9 underworld python race jumped in shock, and without any hesitation, they immediately launched an attack. In response, the mixed beast race shouted that it was a misunderstanding and retreated. Upon realizing that it was the mixed beast race, the Black Rock 9 underworld python race also stopped their assault and fell back. At that time, Yen Baichen didn't understand what the mixed beast race was doing, so he demanded Feng Yu to come out and speak with him. However, the vice leader of the mixed beast race just hemmed and hawed, refusing to disclose Feng Yu's whereabouts. From this, it was evident that the mixed beast race's people were just a bunch of bad liars. Unable to sense Feng Yu and Long Chen's presence, Yen Baichen was incensed and instantly assumed the worst. After he looked at his subordinates, they immediately surrounded the mixed beast race's experts, saying that the latter had offended them and had to kneel and apologize. The mixed beast race's side naturally would not comply. When had the mixed beast race been bullied to this extent? Even without Feng Yu present, they had other experts, so both sides immediately started fighting. However, Yen Baichen didn't participate to leave himself some leeway. If Feng Yu were to appear, he would say that his subordinates wanted to fight, not him. Also, even without Yen Baichen, the Black Rock 9 underworld pythons experts outnumbered Feng Yu's people. Relying on that number advantage, they started to suppress the mixed beast race. The vice leader of the mixed beast race realized that if Yen Baichen discovered Feng Yu's absence, he would not hesitate to act and capture them, using them as leverage against Feng Yu. After reaching this conclusion, the vice leader secretly communicated with the strongest experts among their ranks. With no further reservation, they instantly unleashed their full power to break through this encirclement. Just as he predicted, the Black Rock 9 underworld python race had not reached the point of going all out to kill them. So quite a few of Yen Baichen's experts met a bloody end as the mixed beast race charged out of their encirclement. This scene fueled Yen Baichen's anger. He had only intended to surround the mixed beast race's experts, but they actually dared to kill his people. He then gave a secret order to eliminate half of the mixed beast race's experts, blood for blood. Seeing the situation going awry, the mixed beast race used the transportation formation once again. Of course, Yen Baichen furiously tried to interrupt it, but he was one step too late. His attack only caused powerful fluctuations in the formation, resulting in many members of the mixed beast race coughing up blood from the spatial chaos. Yen Baichen could discern the general direction of their transportation. Since the disruption he caused had messed with their transportation, he thought that they couldn't have gone too far, so he immediately chased after them. As a result, he really managed to catch up because Long Chen's location wasn't that far from their position. However, the Black Rock 9 underworld python race didn't get to revel in the sight of the bloodied experts from the mixed beast race. Instead, they were met with an icy glare from Feng Yu, followed by her furious demeanor amidst a sea of flames. Alongside her, Long Chen cast a sympathetic gaze toward them. "Damn you! You'll pay the price for your foolishness." Feng Yu seethed with anger, having not expected Yen Baichen to be so brazen as to attack her people in her absence. With the golden spear in her hand and the flames erupting around her, she looked just like a fiery goddess. All of a sudden, she vanished. Yen Baichen's expression shifted drastically as he realized he had completely lost track of her. Boom! The ground exploded, revealing earth energy that condensed into a stone-like armor around Yen Baichen. This armor was as black as ink, exuding a heavy aura that seemed to absorb the energy of the entire earth in an instant. After that, a giant stone shield appeared in his hand, and he swung it to his left. "That's quite the accurate sensing," remarked Long Chen, quite surprised. Even Long Chen had to rely on his flame senses to tell Feng Yu's attack direction, but Yen Baichen could react even faster. This indicated that Yen Baichen possessed similar abilities, and his senses were sharper than Long Chen's. In truth, Long Chen just didn't know that Yen Baichen hadn't sensed anything. He had simply guessed right because he was very familiar with Feng Yu's attack pattern. Boom! Feng Yu's flaming spear crushed the black shield like a phoenix beak smashing a worm into pieces. Not good! The Black Rock 9 underworld python race's experts cried out in terror. Once the shield exploded, countless fragments of it flew out like meteorites, wreaking havoc. Many of them died without even getting a chance to scream. Damn! Long Chen was startled by both Feng Yu and the Black Rock shield's strength. The explosion was practically on par with the detonation of a saint item. Yen Baichen indeed wasn't a weakling, but Feng Yu had completely transformed. Just then, a scream rang out. Feng Yu's spear had not just shattered the shield, but also pierced Yen Baichen's chest. Phoenix might slaughter. Feng Yu roared furiously, and her spear blazed as brightly as the sun. No dash! Boom! An immense explosion drained all color from heaven and earth. Boom! Just like that, the incinerated remains of Yen Baichen soared into the sky. Feng Yu's assault was merciless, destroying not only Yen Baichen's body but also his Yuan spirit. In one fell swoop, she erased Yen Baichen's existence from this earth. Her attack then continued and swept up countless experts of the Black Rock 9 underworld python race, annihilating their elites. She was like an undefeatable war goddess now, wielding a golden spear that sent shivers down her enemies' spines. Single-handedly, she broke the experts of the Black Rock 9 underworld python race. With Yen Baichen slain and most of their elites wiped out in a single attack, the survivors couldn't mount a counterattack. Hence, they directly chose to flee, but it was too late as the mixed beast race's experts had surrounded them. The tables have turned. You sowed this karma, so now you can reap it. The mixed beast race's experts launched a furious all-out assault. After all, Feng Yu had slain Yen Baichen, so both sides were truly mortal enemies now. If they succeeded in eliminating every expert from the Black Rock underworld python race, without any witnesses or evidence, the Black Rock 9 underworld python race would not know who did it. That would be the best-case scenario. Kill! The mixed beast race's experts roared and collapsed upon the broken Black Rock 9 underworld python race's experts. The latter could only flee desperately. Damn mixed beast race. Just wait to experience the wrath of the Black Rock 9 underworld python race. Seeing no chance to escape, some of them started to shout furiously. "Tsh, that's if they knew who slew you all, no?" sneered Longchen. He then started to rain down a barrage of arrows, each arrow claiming one life. It just so happened that he could use the live targets to train his archery skills. He almost never missed, and sometimes he would be able to kill two with one arrow. Seeing Longchen aiming for the ones running the fastest, the mixed beast race's experts were delighted. There was no need for them to worry about any fish slipping through the net now, so they could fight freely. Feng Yu came to Longchen's side after killing Yen Baichen. Seeing him slaying the fleeing experts like he was possessed by a god of archery, she couldn't help sighing inside. This fellow was truly skilled. Feng Yu refrained from launching another attack and just let her people finish the remnants of the enemies. While the battle was fierce and resulted in some casualties on both sides, such losses were inevitable. It was through such bloody conflicts that experts honed their skills and strengthened themselves. That was the only way they could survive in this cruel world. The mixed beast race's experts were like a pack of hungry wolves devouring the Black Rock 9 underworld python race's experts. In less than the span of an incense stick burning, the battlefield fell silent as the battle was over. The ground was littered with corpses covered in black rock scales. With the battle over, the mixed beast race's experts started cleaning up the battlefield, gathering the equipment from the fallen. Feng Yu was planning on incinerating the corpses to clean up the crime scene, but how could Long Chun permit the destruction of such precious treasures? He directly took all the corpses, tossing them into the black soil. "What are you so excited about?" asked Feng Yu, noticing Long Chen's grin, which seemed like it could split his face. She couldn't help but smile as well. Long Chun naturally wouldn't tell her the truth. Just then, a 6-star heavenly Doyan fruit appeared on the heavenly Dao tree. Now Long Chen understood why that fellow was so strong. 6 stars? It seemed that Yen Baichen was even stronger than that life hunter expert. Furthermore, the color of this 6-star heavenly Doyan fruit was different, as there were rock-like patterns on it. In other words, anyone who absorbed it would possess a similar power to Yen Baichen. Long Chun instantly thought of Li Qi and Song Mingyuan. They were both earth element experts, and if they could absorb it, it would be like adding wings to a tiger. Unfortunately, there was only one fruit, but there were 2 of them. Other than the 6-star heavenly Doyan fruit, Long Chun had gotten countless others. For 5-star fruit, thousands of 3-star fruit, and too many 2-star and 1-star fruits for him to count. Now, the heavenly Dao tree was covered in so many new fruits, with a pile accumulating beneath its crown. As the spaces on the tree were limited, the emergence of new fruit would cause the older ones to fall. Long Chun was overjoyed to see this pile. Seeing him smiling foolishly, Feng Yu nudged him. "I asked you what you're smiling about, all right?" Only then did Long Chun cough and solemnly say, "I'm just happy for the mixed beast race. Their junior race leader has grown into such a godly existence. To be able to see you defeat that child Yen Baichen in one move, I'm almost moved to tears," replied Long Chun. While Long Chen's words were just nonsense, they resonated deeply with Feng Yu, touching her heart in a way that left her speechless. "Junior race leader, you really are amazing. How did you get so strong?" asked one of the mixed beast race's experts. He was the most outstanding heavenly genius of the mixed beast race other than Fengyu, and he had been her proxy while she was gone. He had been vigilant toward Longchen before this. As one of Fengyu's worshippers and followers, although he knew that he wasn't qualified to be with Fengyu, he didn't feel like Longchen had the qualifications either. Fengyu looked at Longchen with immense gratitude. In truth, it was all thanks to. Haha, it was the heavens' will. Junior race leader Fengyu suddenly awakened her bloodline. The heavens are looking after the mixed beast race. Under her lead, the mixed beast race is destined for greatness, replied Longchen. Hearing this, the mixed beast race's experts shouted excitedly. Their heads were rather simple, so they didn't doubt his words at all. Longchen. Fengyu bit her lip, not knowing what to say. In all her years, she had never been treated so well by anyone. After all, this opportunity was all thanks to him. However, he was willing to give all the credit to her. It was all to secure her position as the junior race leader, making her people approve of her, worship her, and adore her. Longchen naturally didn't want to claim a part of that glory or even do this to get their approval. This action moved the weakest part of Fengyu's heart. Let's go. If anyone bullies me, you can help me beat them up, said Longchen with a smile. Fengyu wiped away her tears and smiled as well. She then nodded and clenched her fist. As long as I'm here, no one can bully you. Longchen was now the most important existence in her heart. If anyone dared to bully him, she would go all out against them. Just like that, Fengyu and Longchen led the mixed beast race's experts forward gallantly. In just half a day, they sensed a powerful devil chi erupting from the area left to them. Longchen's eyes caught sight of a group of devil experts. When Longchen saw those devil experts, his pupils shrank. What a terrifying force. They outnumbered the mixed beast race 10-1. What shocked him the most was that among them were 3 existences with auras on par with Yen Baichen's. These devil experts differed from any Longchen had encountered before. Towering in stature, they had bull horns atop their heads, and he could see flickering flames around them. It's the Flame Devil race, one of the largest and most powerful races in the world of the 9th heaven. But don't worry, I'm stronger now. I have the power to protect you, reassured Fengyu upon seeing Longchen's reaction. Longchen had retreated behind her, and she just smiled warmly. She thought that protecting Longchen was her greatest responsibility now. Little did she know that he was hiding because he had slain too many experts of the devil race. Whether it was on the martial heaven continent or the immortal world, he had slaughtered countless devils, so he was worried about them detecting him and implicating the mixed beast race. Fengyu's words made him not know whether to laugh or cry, and he also felt a sense of warmth. The feeling of being protected was truly moving. What amused him the most was that both Fengyu and the rest of the mixed beast race thought that he only had some rather odd techniques and wasn't actually that strong. Fengyu, if we keep going forward, will we run into more outsiders from my world? Asked Longchen. Fengyu shook her head. It's unlikely. The paths for the void spirit world and the fantasy spirit world are different. It's rare to encounter outsiders on this path as they have their own path. Only at the entrance to both worlds will we run into each other, and a bloody battle will erupt then. It is said that when these 2 worlds open, rivers of blood will flow. In that battle, you have to protect yourself. I will be targeted and might not be able to protect you. Fengyu's expression was serious. Every time the 2 worlds opened, there would be an immense battle. The native and the foreign experts were like fire and water. At the same time, some factions would join forces with those foreign experts to slaughter their enemies. After all, some powerful races didn't reject the outsiders and were willing to form alliances with them. As long as the relationship was mutually beneficial, they would accept it. Hearing this, Longchen smiled. Once his status was exposed, he would probably be the main target. After all, Longchen had enemies all over the world. Once he and Fengyu reached the entrance to both worlds, all his enemies would just assault him. Even when he knew about the possibility, he didn't feel any fear, and his blood slowly heated up instead. Now that he had a suitable weapon and could fully unleash his astral energy, he wasn't afraid of anyone. Up ahead, The devil race's army was marching forward with their overwhelming devil chi. The mixed beast race's people slowed down to let them pass by first. Although Feng Yu's power had grown to the point that she didn't even fear the three existences on par with Yan Baiqin, that didn't mean she could do whatever she wanted. If both sides really did clash, she would be able to kill her way out, but the rest of her people would probably die. Feng Yu instantly drew the devil race's attention. Standing at the very front, she gazed at them coldly and didn't bother hiding her aura. The three leaders of the devil race stared back at her, a hint of fear evident in their eyes. They chose to not provoke her and just continue onward. As fellow peak experts, the trio knew that Feng Yu wasn't a pushover. If they were to antagonize her, while they could annihilate her subordinates, her counterattack would definitely slay most of their people as well. Most importantly, her aura exuded heavy pressure on them, so they didn't dare to do anything to her lightly. Because of this, they didn't even look at Long Chun, which startled him but made him feel relieved as well. Interesting. They actually can't sense the resentment of their kin within me. Actually, it was all thanks to the presence of the earth cauldron in Long Chen's mind sea. Its existence could neutralize the spiritual enmities of the slain devils within him. Long Chun wasn't sure why this happened, but he did know that he could play around now. Without the need to feel so cautious, he stood together with Feng Yu, gazing at the devil experts. The devil experts also looked at him. When they saw him, although they felt like his face needed a beating, they didn't feel any particular hatred. They simply glared at him in a vain attempt to scare him. When those looks came out, Long Chen fully relaxed. He then smiled and waved at them warmly. At that time, the devil expert scoffed and didn't even look at him. Seeing Long Chen no longer afraid of them, Feng Yu smiled. She felt extremely protective over him and swore that she wouldn't let anyone hurt him. Once the devil race passed by, Feng Yu continued leading the way, holding Long Chen's hand happily. Immediately, Long Chen sensed a sisterly vibe from Feng Yu, as if she were an elder sister holding a younger brother's hand. This made him rather uncomfortable, and he wanted to pull his hand away several times. However, Feng Yu's pure smile dissuaded him from doing so. Perhaps in Feng Yu's heart, this gesture was merely a display of pure joy, devoid of any romantic connotations. Long Chun smiled mockingly at his own thoughts. Perhaps he had been overthinking it. Feng Yu was part of the mixed beast race, and she was as pure as a sheet of paper. This situation was just like two children holding hands, not something romantic. After thinking of that, Long Chun also felt more relaxed and began to crack some jokes that elicited laughter from Feng Yu. As they continued onward, they encountered more factions, some of which immediately surrounded the mixed beast race upon seeing them. However, as soon as they laid eyes on Feng Yu, their expressions completely changed. With a single shout from her, they fled right away. Those factions had some enmities with the mixed beast race. After all, the mixed beast race had faced so much discrimination and suffering from all sides. If it was up to Feng Yu, she would have just crushed them with her new power. However, the race leader had told her to be patient and consider the big picture, as an outstanding leader could not be willful. The number one thing in her heart had to be the lives of her people. Thus, Feng Yu endured it. As for the other side, Feng Yu's aura scared them away. Just as they thought that they had found a weak target to bully, they realized that they were unable to stomach this tough bone. Seeing them flee, the mixed beast race's experts cheered excitedly. They felt like they were venting years of frustration and felt even more worshipful toward Feng Yu. Suddenly, they heard explosive sounds in the distance, and Feng Yu's expression grew serious. Everyone be on guard. We're about to enter the battle zone. Powerful gusts and furious roars came from ahead, accompanied by the sound of slaughter and a bloody scent in the air. Long Chen knew that they had gotten close to the entrance of both worlds. According to Feng Yu, there were two worlds to enter, the Void Spirit world and the Fantasy Spirit world. Outsiders would go into the Void Spirit world, while the native experts would enter the Fantasy Spirit world. However, the Fantasy Spirit world had two entrances as well, which were the Fantasy Spirit entrance and the Esoteric Spirit entrance. Both entrances led to the same world, but due to different paths, they led to different regions. The mixed beast race was going to enter the esoteric spirit entrance. Since that was the case, Feng Yu was in the habit of calling it the esoteric spirit world, not the fantasy spirit world. Whether it was the void spirit world or the fantasy spirit world's entrance, they were all near each other. These entrances were also not fixed. Perhaps this entrance led to the void spirit world this time, but next time it might not. Thus, whether it was the natives or the outsiders, they would rush to the area in front of the three entrances to occupy the best spots. The void spirit world, the fantasy spirit world, and even the branch known as the esoteric spirit world, all were rumored to hold the treasures of an entire era within their depths. The legends had it that in ancient times, a cataclysmic battle among gods occurred, leading to the collapse of countless worlds. Through the power of reincarnation, these worlds merged together. As time passed, these buried worlds would occasionally open. Whenever they did, the buried worlds weren't the only places that became accessible. They also created a bridge, a channel to an unknown realm. This unknown realm was rumored to be the core of the cosmos. However, its exact nature and appearance remained shrouded in mystery, known to none. Yet, even without delving into that mysterious realm, just the void spirit world and fantasy spirit world held countless treasures within their domains. After all, the void spirit world and the fantasy spirit world hailed from ancient times, their depths holding untold numbers of divine weapons and secret tomes. Within their confines, there could also lie the remains of ancient divine beasts, treasures of incalculable value. For the experts of the beast race, the corpses of their ancestors might contain lost techniques just waiting to be resurrected. Thus, countless experts viewed the void spirit world and the fantasy spirit world as treasure troves. Despite knowing that they might lose their lives inside, the allure of treasures was irresistible. As soon as the gates to these worlds swung open, the first batch of entrants would be favored by the laws of the world and guided to the locations brimming with the most coveted treasures. Through countless tests, some self-proclaimed wise experts had essentially verified this rumor. The first batch of entrants always reaped plentiful gains. There was never a documented instance of them returning empty-handed. However, Long Chen scoffed at it. What dumbass! Everyone in the first batch was a peak expert, so even if they couldn't find treasures, they could always take from others. Killing people was quite profitable after all. Why would such powerful experts return empty-handed? Long Chen didn't believe in luck, as only power reigned supreme. Also, he had thought it through. After he got in, he would be a bandit. In any case, he had enemies everywhere, and killing people for their treasures was one of the skills he excelled in. Unlike Long Chen, the other experts didn't think like this. Both the natives and outsiders were doing their best to get to the entrances so they could be the first batch of entrants. Long Chen and his companions advanced for another hour until they reached what could only be described as an immensely chaotic battlefield. Long Chen saw all kinds of races here. The devil race, human race, blood race, demonic beasts, devil beasts, the shadow race, and numerous others. Among them were even races unrecognizable to him. The battlefield was a scene of utter chaos, yet most combatants only fought to claim territories, so they only launched probing blows. When confronted with overwhelmingly superior opponents, the weaker factions would abandon their territories and look for another place. It was better than getting their asses kicked. Amid so many factions squeezing their way forward, the mixed beast race's arrival didn't draw any attention. Now, with many experts around the entrances, fiercer probing blows occasionally resulted in deaths. Probing blows were, after all, demonstrations of power. As a result, corpses littered the battlefield, soaking the ground with fresh blood. Puddles of blood had formed in the depressions, permeating the air with a pungent scent of iron. Yet, Long Chen found that the mixed beast race's experts didn't show the slightest hint of fear. Instead, their own fighting spirits surged, undeterred by the grisly scene before them. Long Chen nodded in understanding. The mixed beast race had endured years of suppression, unrecognized by the rest of the world. Yet they had never relented. Even if they had to pay a bloody price in their pursuit of acknowledgement, they remained undeterred. Seeing their fervent determination, Long Chen felt like he was seeing the human race. However, there were differences. After the human race's glorious era, they could never climb back up. Looking at their blazing spirits, Long Chun couldn't suppress a sigh. If the human race possessed such fiery determination, perhaps they could have restored their former glory. Regretfully, once some humans knelt, their knees became rooted to the ground, and they could never stand again. With their intelligence, they chose not to think about getting stronger but instead how to scheme against their comrade, dragging down the progression of the entire human race. Instead of striving for strength, they resigned themselves to complacency. Fortunately, the humans also harbored true experts and warriors within its ranks, such as the sovereigns. These individuals provided a beacon of hope, demonstrating that the human race still possessed the potential for greatness. Filthy mixed beast race scram. This place isn't for you. Once the mixed beast race got closer, a warning shout resounded from ahead, coming from a group of rogue experts. As a result, an arrow from Long Chun immediately pierced through the head of the one shouting. Blending seamlessly within their ranks, he went unnoticed, so his sneak attack struck his target with deadly accuracy. This is nice. Long Chun had always fought openly against his enemies. Now that he was doing such sneak attacks, he felt that such a shameless feeling was even more exciting than killing his opponent with a slash of his saber. Courting death. Kill them. The rogue experts immediately turned toward the mixed beast race. However, their leader only saw a golden spear before he arrived at the reincarnation river. The mixed beast race's peerless Feng Yu is present. If you don't want to die, then scram. Otherwise, please line up to die in an orderly fashion. Lord Feng Yu will send you on your way one by one. Thank you for your cooperation. Long Chun shouted loudly by Feng Yu's side. Originally, she had a heroic expression on her face to display her dignity, but Long Chun's antics were just too funny, so she burst out laughing. Kill! After that, the mixed beast race's experts roared as well and charged forward with their sharpest killing blows. No longer holding back, Feng Yu spread her wings, and flames burst out of her. Even though a lot of experts filled the battlefield, Feng Yu was like a crane amongst chickens, standing out among all of them. The mixed beast race's experts were frightening to behold, so the people around them hastily fled, leaving them alone. As a result, the mixed beast race's experts passed through the crowd like a hot knife through butter. They all roared, their fighting spirits fully igniting. For countless years, the others had treated them like dirty mutants, rejecting their existence. So, as they scared away all of those powerful races, they felt like they were unleashing all the years of resentment. In truth, these factions were retreating mainly due to Feng Yu's frightening aura. They were unwilling to clash with such a terrifying expert right at the beginning, as they would just take hideous losses before things even started. After all, there was still quite some time until the gates opened. If they got gravely injured here, let alone being in the first batch of experts to enter, perhaps they would just meet their end on this chaotic battlefield. Now, the mixed beast race was in high spirits. Their warriors had arrived with the determination to fight to the death. Some had not come to enter the fantasy spirit world, but to display their bravery in front of the countless races of the world, to demonstrate that the mixed beast race was not to be underestimated or bullied. As a result, all the races here knew that they weren't a good target to provoke. They had to think twice before provoking the mixed beast race. As the mixed beast race advanced, Long Chun sat on the back of the half-horse expert, holding his crossbow. Any time one of their people was in danger, he would use a single arrow to resolve it. Long Chun was now manifesting Guo Ran's character. In any case, he felt some joy while doing so, especially when he killed the enemies without them knowing. Their lost and regretful gazes brought him a particular sense of accomplishment, the joy of conning people to death. To ascend to the heavens, one must have morals. How can you be willing to toss your comrades' corpses into the wilderness? Fine dust to dust, earth to earth. It's up to me to be a good person and let them rest in peace. Long Chun sanctimoniously started to gather the corpses on the ground. Many people didn't even know if they would survive to leave this world, so they couldn't be bothered to take their people's corpses. In fact, some of them intentionally let Long Chun into their territory so that he could clean it up. As a result, Long Chun almost shouted with joy. Corpses of various races entered his pocket, and he didn't discriminate. They all landed on the primal chaos space's black soil. Long Chen's earth energy wasn't particularly strong, but he didn't have a problem gathering the corpses on the ground. The corpses rapidly vanished, devoured by the primal chaos space. The black soil had devoured countless bodies now, so its devouring ability had become truly terrifying. Also, these corpses were mostly world kings. Although some were powerful heavenly doyens, they were not taxing for the black soil to devour, nothing more than a snack for the primal chaos space. In a bit, life energy rapidly spread throughout the primal chaos space, prompting all the vegetation to grow crazily. Although these corpses were not from saints, those who could come here were elites amongst elites, so their bodies also unleashed a shocking amount of life energy. Long Chun was unable to contain his smile. Silently gaining wealth was truly amazing. The mixed beast race continued onward, but in 2 hours, their progress slowed down because the people ahead of them were getting stronger and stronger. At this time, Long Chun could vaguely see 2 giant gates. Although they were still far away, he could sense terrifying spatial fluctuations from them. It seems that those are the entrances to the fantasy spirit world and void spirit world. Long Chen's heart heated up. He knew that the Dragonblood warriors were advancing to the void spirit world. Long Chun wanted to fly out right now and gather with them. However, he didn't dare to do so, as even a sage king wouldn't dare to fly over the heads of so many powerful heavenly geniuses. Anyone who did so would become a live target, practically asking to be killed. In this chaotic battlefield, a single person's power was minuscule, so they had to rely on an army to survive. As the mixed beast race advanced, they reached a group of people wearing blood-colored robes. Their sleeves and collars had special marks on them to represent their sect. When these people appeared in front of the mixed beast race, they slowed down, and one of the experts of the mixed beast race called out, "Friends of the human race, can you dash?" He had yet to finish speaking when one of those experts swung his sword, almost beheading him. Fortunately, just as the sword slashed down, an arrow pierced that expert's chest, reducing most of his power. Otherwise, the person from the mixed beast race would have been cut in half. The mixed beast race's people seethed with anger. Due to being with Long Chun all this time, they had dropped their guard against the human race and would rather not barge through with brute force. At the very least, they had to give Long Chun some face. However, the other side didn't think that way. On the battlefield, other than yourself, everyone else is an enemy. If courtesy mattered, would the mixed beast race have fallen to this state? Shouted Long Chun. This shout was the warning they needed. Without any further misgivings, they roared and charged forward. Foolish mixed beast race, who gave you the guts to offend my blood gauze sect? Kill them all. After that, a sinister sneer rang out, and the crowd parted. Long Chun was slightly surprised to see 4 humans with auras on par with Yen Baichen. Kill that woman. The 4 of them immediately targeted Fengyu, as they thought that she was the only threat. Not caring about any rules, they swung their weapons toward her. Even 1 against 4, Fengyu slammed her spear forward and forced all of them back. To their surprise, their combined attack was unable to injure Fengyu. Capture the weakling. One of them shouted and actually abandoned Fengyu to charge at Long Chun. Fuck! You dare to treat me like this? Long Chun. Fengyu's expression changed. She immediately charged over to save him, but the remaining 3 experts blocked her together. Die! At this time, the 4th expert reached Long Chun, but just as he raised his weapon, his vision darkened. Pow! A large hand slammed into his face, sending that person flying like a shooting star, with his blood flying everywhere. Seeing this scene, everyone fell silent. Although Fengyu seemed like she could hold her own against 4 of them, their combined power had actually dealt her quite a blow, and she had secretly suffered in that clash. Seeing one of them go after Long Chun, she wanted to save him, but the other 3 just didn't allow her to. Just as Fengyu was about to use a forbidden art to break free from the 3 of them, unexpectedly, The seemingly weak Long Chun slapped this expert in the face without giving him any chance to counterattack. Long Chun's slap didn't seem fast at all. In fact, everyone could see it clearly, and it should have been easy to dodge. However, it still struck that person's face. The slap was explosive, shattering half of that person's face. When his blood sprayed into the air, the sickening sound of bones breaking also made people wince. Did I give you too much face? Do you really think that Boss Long San is easy to bully? Long Chun rolled up his sleeves, cursing the expert he had just slapped. Long Chun truly was incensed. He had hidden his aura and had so many powerful people around him. He wasn't even fighting at the moment, but this person had randomly chosen him to target. That was too unlucky, wasn't it? Unbeknownst to him, the Blood Gauze sect had taken note of Feng Yu from a distance. Seeing that Long Chun was very close to her and she seemed to be looking after him, they had assumed that he was someone important to her. Perhaps another race wouldn't think this way. After all, Long Chun's aura was too weak. However, the Blood Gauze sect was a human faction. Seeing that Long Chun was handsome and capable of walking alongside Feng Yu, they immediately tried targeting him. Seeing Feng Yu panic like that, they were sure that their guess was correct. However, to their surprise, Long Chun directly slapped their top expert cleanly in the face. This dumbfounded the Blood Gauze sect's experts and the mixed beast race. Long Chun had surprised them many times on the battlefield, and his accomplishments could not be looked down upon. However, he always relied on shameless techniques to do so, with the exception of this recent slap. It seemed to be backed by real power. "Damn bastard, you'll pay the price for that," the slapped expert roared. However, given that half of his face was broken, he only had one way to shout. With dislocated jaws and blood oozing all over his face, he looked horrifying. In fact, the slapped expert had only probed Feng Yu. If Feng Yu hadn't reacted when he attacked Long Chun, he would have switched to a different target. Hence, his attention had been on Feng Yu and the rest of the mixed beast race the entire time. In fact, most of his attention was on the tempo of the entire battlefield, not Long Chun. Thus, Long Chun easily slapped him. Anyway, even if he hadn't been distracted, he wouldn't have been able to dodge this divine face-slapping art. The slapped expert didn't even know how he had been struck by this slap. Thinking that he had simply been too careless, he charged forward once more, swinging his sword at Long Chun with all his power. "Protect Long Chun!" The mixed beast race's experts roared, and 9 of their top experts joined forces to protect him. Boom! The blow knocked all of them back, and one of them even vomited blood. When those 9 people appeared in front of him, Long Chun couldn't help but feel touched. That was because amongst the 9 of them, 3 of them normally would look at him with hostility, not liking how close he was to Feng Yu. However, when he was in danger, they didn't hesitate to protect him. This single act tugged at the deepest part of his heart. The mixed beast race's clear way of repaying gratitudes and grudges was admirable. The 9 of them had managed to block the slapped expert. At this moment, Long Chun appeared like a phantom before that expert and slapped the other side of his face. There was another explosive sound, but this slap was even more ruthless than the last. This time, a lightning rune flashed on Long Chun's palm, and he directly crushed that expert's head. He had practically slapped a peak expert to death, crushing the latter's head and Yuan's spirit at the same time. "Big brother Long Chun, what do you think? Am I amazing?" Lei Linger's excited cry rang out in Long Chun's mind. Long Chun couldn't help being stunned. It seemed that Lei Linger had used her power in that slap. Lei Linger had grown to the point that even Long Chun didn't know just how strong she was. Hence, her lightning rune instantly killed that person. In the past, Long Chun and Lei Linger had worked together like this. Long Chun was in charge of slapping, boasting an almost 100% hit rate. The only downside was that his face-slapping technique lacked any killing power. If he added power to this slap, it would truly be a killing blow. However, his enemies would then sense the threat of death and be more likely to dodge. This was where Lei Linger really shone. She would unleash her power the moment Long Chun was about to slap his target, dealing a devastating blow. It was a flawless union. Long Chun couldn't help but sigh when he heard her naughty laughter. Learning good habits was hard, but bad habits were easy to pick up, even without anyone to teach them. Long Chun had just started to enjoy the delight of conning people when Lei Linger learned the same thing, conning a terrifying expert to death. After that expert fell, a new 6-star heavenly Doyan fruit appeared on the heavenly Dao tree. Seeing that fruit, Long Chun was instantly revitalized and pointed at the other 3 experts of the Blood Gauze sect, arrogantly shouting, "Little brats who don't know how high the heavens are, come over here. Boss Long San will kill each of you with a slap." Just like that, Long Chun brazenly swaggered toward them. "Come. Boss Long San will beat you 1 against 3. Long Chun swaggered over to them. He still wasn't releasing his aura, giving the impression that anyone who attacked him could easily overpower him. However, the shockwaves from when he killed that expert completely terrified the 3 of them. Boom! Feng Yu didn't slack off either. When she attacked, her golden spear emitted a brilliant phoenix cry, and half of the void collapsed around the 3 of them. As Long Chun had drawn their attention, Feng Yu's attack caught them off guard. With only 3 of them joining forces in a hasty attempt to block her attack, Feng Yu instantly blew them away. In a 4 against 1, their chances of victory were quite decent. However, they didn't want a direct clash because that would result in large casualties. This was why the mixed beast race could reach this spot without losing many experts. They weren't strong enough to crush all the people in front of them. These people just didn't want to clash with them so early. In the same vein, the Blood Gauze sect had occupied a territory and didn't want to fight the mixed beast race. They just wanted to take advantage of the mixed beast race's average intelligence to extort Feng Yu. If they had some hostages, they would have control over the battlefield. It was a nice idea, but their vision was truly lacking to choose Long Chun as their target. Just count it as their tragedy. Feng Yu sent 3 of their top experts flying, and one of them coincidentally flew toward Long Chun. That person screamed and slammed his weapon toward him. However, before his weapon could strike Long Chun already stepped to the side and landed a clean slap to his face. The moment Long Chun's palm touched the poor guy's cheek, a lightning rune flashed on his palm. Boom! When the lightning rune detonated, it blasted the poor guy's head into smithereens. But its wild power numbed Long Chun's palm as well. Linger! You have to be gentler. While this attack indeed killed the poor guy in one move, the rune that Lei Linger used was too terrifying. Many times stronger than the last one, leaving Long Chun's palm bloody. "Oh, sorry. It wasn't intentional. I was just testing the power of a saint rune." Lei Linger hastily apologized. During this time, Lei Linger had been absorbing the heavenly tribulation's thunder force from the saint corpses, and he had comprehended several runes from them. It had been a while since she had fought anyone, so she wanted to know just how strong these new runes were. After she tested it on Long Chun's opponent, she found that its power was absolutely terrifying, injuring even Long Chun. It was really out of expectation. After all, she had layered some defenses on Long Chun's palm before detonating the rune. According to her estimation, Long Chun would at most endure 10% of the impact, and 90% of it would blast their opponent. Even then, the recoil power still injured Long Chun's palm. No wonder it instantly crushed their opponent's head. While the stinging pain on his palm was unbearable, it was also a pleasant surprise for Long Chun, indicating that Lei Linger had grown to an unimaginable level. In the future, he would be able to run rampant with her by his side. How despicable! Using hidden weapons to kill people. He has something on his hand, shouted the other 2 top experts of the Blood Gauze sect. They hadn't seen it clearly before, but this time, they noticed something lit up on Long Chun's palm as he slapped their fellow clansmen. Assuming that Long Chun was using a mechanism, they directly cursed him. However, they didn't forget to flee while doing so. "If you have some guts, don't run," Long Chun shouted. At this moment, a fist-sized sphere appeared in his hand, and he tossed it into the ranks of the Blood Gauze sect's experts. "Watch out!" Boom! The sphere exploded, instantly decimating countless disciples of the Blood Gauze sect in a large area. "You cowardly bastard! Stop using hidden weapons and fight like a man!" roared the two peak experts of the Blood Gauze sect. This sphere was a bomb crafted by Guoran for Long Chun using saint-level materials. After hearing them accuse him of using hidden mechanisms, Long Chun decided to play along. As a result, this explosion caught even Long Chun off guard. It had obliterated hundreds of thousands of experts in one go. "God damn! I didn't know that little crook was so powerful!" exclaimed Long Chun. Usually, Long Chun would engage the strongest experts from the other side in combat, while Guoran would direct their comrades on the other battlefield. As a result, Long Chun had never taken note of the terrifying effect of Guoran's killing tool. Now that he had used one himself, he found it to be too terrifying. Seeing Long Chun use that bomb, the onlookers realized how he could slay top experts with a single slap. They also assumed that he had a hidden mechanism in his hand. "If you want to fight one-on-one, you can come at me," shouted Feng Yu as the other side cursed. She then appeared by Long Chen's side, pointing her spear at them. Seeing her, the two top experts of the Blood Gauze sect instantly shut their mouths. Even the four of them had been unable to beat her. So, now that half of them were dead, if they were to challenge her again, they would be courting death. Using hidden weapons to kill people is the mark of a shameless fellow. Just you wait. Our Blood Gauze sect has an inheritance stretching back millions and millions of years. We have 72 branch sections. To dare kill our people, just wait for your retribution, roared one of them. This shout immediately triggered Long Chen's memories. The Blood Gauze sect? Didn't it sound a bit familiar? Did he happen to hear it in the mortal world or maybe the immortal world? If the Blood Gauze sect's inheritance really did stretch back as far as this person claimed, then it could be true. Furthermore, just one of their 72 branch sects already possessed this many powerful experts. How monstrous was the main sect? However, Long Chun scoffed at this person's threat. Who cares about the Blood Gauze sect? Can a group of ants challenge Boss Long San? Tsh, you don't know whom you have provoked. Long Chun turned his nose up at those experts, appearing incredibly arrogant. Those experts then retreated further back. Having lost two of their top experts, the Blood Gauze sect's people were unable to remain here. After all, they could only stay in a region if the surrounding factions didn't pose as much of a threat to them. The territory of the Blood Gauze sect was now under the control of the mixed beast race, so the latter felt incomparably excited. This was a level of glory they had never experienced before. They even felt like even if they fought to the death here, it would be worth it. Just as they were looking at Feng Yu and Long Chun worshipfully, several experts amongst them suddenly walked toward Long Chun. "Big brother Long Chun, our eyes were blind before, and we deserve 1,000 deaths for offending you. Please forgive us for our ignorance. You are a true expert." After one of them spoke, all the top experts of the mixed beast race knelt on one knee toward Long Chun, their left hands over their chests. This was a custom reserved only for those whom the mixed beast race respected. "What are you doing? Get up." Seeing this scene, Long Chun instantly felt embarrassed. When they looked at him with some disdain and even hostility, they were only concerned that some weak chicken was influencing Feng Yu. If Feng Yu got into a relationship with some weak-ass coward and a child was born between them, it could jeopardize the future of the mixed beast race. As they were all thinking about their race's future, Long Chun couldn't blame them. After all, he had experienced challenges hundreds of times worse than theirs. Furthermore, despite their cold treatment of him, when the battle commenced, especially when he appeared to be in danger, they risked their lives to protect him. This single gesture was enough for Long Chun to not harbor the slightest anger toward them. After they saw Long Chun kill two terrifying experts, although there were also tricks involved, it was enough to win them over. The mixed beast race's experts were comparatively simple. They respected the strong. As long as you were strong enough, they would respect you. We're all brothers fighting alongside each other on the battlefield. There's no need for propriety. Come, I have more of those explosives. Each person can get one. Long Chun actually started to hand out bombs like candies. Feng Yu was by Long Chen's side, watching him distribute those bombs. She was also full of curiosity as to how something so small could have such power. Feng Yu picked up one of those bombs for herself. She then tapped it with a finger, and the runes on the bomb suddenly lit up. Fuck! Long Chun instantly turned green and slapped Feng Yu's hand. The bomb then went flying out of her hand. Boom! The bomb obliterated the crowd beside them, emptying that large area and causing a rain of blood to fall. Feng Yu covered her mouth, full of shock. As for the mixed beast race's experts who had just gotten a bomb, they were all pale with fright. It was fortunate that Long Chun had reacted fast enough, or the mixed beast race would have gone to their next reincarnation cycle. It would have been a freaking dumb way to die. Feng Yu awkwardly stuck her head out, shrugging apologetically. I'm sorry. Before Long Chun could even say anything, countless sharp gazes turned toward them. An icy killing intent locked onto them. Damn beast race. Are you provoking the blood race? A large group of experts turned toward the mixed beast race, gritting their teeth furiously. The faction beside their territory was the blood race. During their fight, the blood race had simply watched, so they knew that the mixed beast race wasn't a pushover. When the mixed beast race took over the blood gauze sect's territory, the blood race intentionally pulled back a bit to show that they didn't want any trouble. The mixed beast race then entered a state of recuperation to show that they weren't planning on fighting either, which caused the blood race to relax. Unfortunately, in their relaxed state, Feng Yu's bomb produced a devastating result. Caught completely off guard, hundreds of thousands of their experts were blasted apart. Furthermore, numerous experts were left injured in the aftermath. Sorry, it was an... Feng Yu hastily apologized, but Long Chun suddenly stopped her. Pointing at the blood race's leader, he scolded, "Youngsters shouldn't be too arrogant. So what if we bombed you? If you don't like it, come fight." Long Chun took out even more bombs. Seeing that, the other members of the mixed beast race mimicked his throwing posture. However, even though they were in throwing postures, their expressions were even more nervous than those from the blood race. After all, they didn't know how to activate these bombs, so they just focused on them to throw them at a moment's notice. You! The blood race's experts seethed with anger. While they were stronger than the blood gauze sect and their top experts were unafraid of those bombs, that didn't mean that the rest weren't. Just 3 of those bombs could annihilate 99% of their people. In the end, only a few of them would remain. Furthermore, Feng Yu's terrifying combat power and Long Chen's strange techniques also frightened them. If they could, they didn't want to fight. You? What you? Either fight or scram, your choice, sneered Long Chun as he raised the bombs. You're going too far, roared one of the blood race's top experts. So what? I like it when you look like you want to kill me but can't do shit to me. Long Chun looked like he really needed a beating, driving the blood race's experts almost insane. The blood race's experts quivered with rage, but they were also helpless. Seeing this scene, Feng Yu almost burst into laughter. She had never seen someone as interesting as Long Chun. All right, count yourselves vicious. Just you wait. This debt will be settled later. After saying that, the leader of the blood race brought his people back. Hold it, shouted Long Chun. What do you want? Are you stupid or deaf? Did you not understand? I told you to fight or scram. Scram. Understand. Long Chun pointed to the rear. You. The blood race's experts were incensed. Now he wanted them to hand over their territory? Long Chun was being an intolerable bully. Oh, little nephews, do you know what these things in Uncle's hands are? Should I release 2 more, so that you learn your lesson? Long Chun waved those bombs with a sinister smile. In front of countless stunned gazes, Long Chun simply took over the blood race's territory. They were now 1 step closer to the gate. Now, the mixed beast race's experts looked at him as if he were a god. He had taken over a territory so effortlessly, a feat they had never dared to dream of. Just then, a jade plate on Long Chen's waist started to flash, filling him with joy. What is it? Seeing Long Chen's sudden joy, Feng Yu couldn't help but ask curiously. I can sense my brothers. They're in that direction. Long Chun pointed at the Void Spirit World's entrance. Although they had only been apart for a short while, Long Chun already missed them. After all, this world was far too dangerous. However, while he could sense them, Based on the rate of flashing on his jade plate, they were still far away. Long Chun knew that he couldn't reach them with his transportation formation. Long Chun didn't know the situation on their side, but with Guoran and Xiachen's power, gathering the Dragonblood Legion shouldn't be a problem. Furthermore, with Guoran's character, he wouldn't charge right to the front of the gate, as that would only turn them into everyone's target. He wouldn't make such a stupid mistake. Although Guoran liked to slack off at Cultivation, when it came to directing the Dragonblood Legion, he was an outstanding leader. Since Long Chen's jade plate was blinking, Guoran had to be able to sense him as well. Although they were separated, they knew each other's general location, which provided both of them with comfort. Long Chun suppressed his excitement for now. He then taught everyone the proper way to use the bombs to prevent something unwanted from happening. Armed with those bombs, the mixed beast race's experts felt immense confidence. After all, these things were incredibly powerful. After taking over the blood race's territory, they saw a group of black-robed experts with golden flames around them. The Golden Crow race? Long Chun instantly recognized them after seeing the Golden Crow flame, a flame capable of giving rise to the sun flame. Though they only numbered a few 100,000 people, they occupied an extremely large area for themselves, and no one dared to approach them. Feng Yu's expression grew serious upon seeing them. She stealthily told Long Chun, "The Golden Crow race is extremely powerful. It's not a good idea to antagonize them. So how about we go around?" After obtaining her ancestors' inheritance, Feng Yu didn't fear anyone. However, she wasn't alone here. She had to lead the entire mixed beast race. Moreover, the Golden Crow race was always domineering and didn't submit to anyone. There was no way to obtain their territory without a direct clash. If they were to fight, ignoring whether or not they could win, the results of such a clash would wipe out at least half of the mixed beast race here, and that was a conservative estimate. Such a loss was unacceptable for Feng Yu. On the surface, everyone was competing for territory here. However, in truth, they were fighting over priority to enter the gate, so everyone wanted to get to the front. But they also wanted to do so without paying a heavy price. Everyone simply wanted to show off their power and make others afraid of them so that they would get out of the way. However, against the Golden Crow race, no way that would work. There were even stronger factions up ahead. If they were to fight the Golden Crow race, they wouldn't be able to accept the losses. But if they were to go around, it would impact the mixed beast race's morale. Feng Yu was unable to come up with any good ideas immediately. Observing the Golden Crow race, Long Chun had to admit that they were truly powerful. The blood race and the blood gauze sex people wouldn't be able to even shake them. Long Chun didn't know why enormous factions like the blood race, devil race, and blood gauze sect would stay separated. Why did they not gather all their forces so that they could occupy better territory? Long Chun suddenly had a thought. This was the principle of not placing all eggs in one basket. If that one basket dropped, all the eggs would shatter. They were afraid of engaging in a bloody clash with some supreme force. If things were to go south, they wouldn't be able to recover. Thus, all the top factions spread their forces so that losing one or two groups wouldn't affect their overall power. This was one of the secret conventions that the major factions abided by. Long Chun also realized at this point that the top experts of these factions were definitely leading squads on their own to enter the gate first. In other words, the top experts up ahead would be even stronger. Long Chun, what do we do? Say something. Feng Yu looked at Long Chun anxiously. Her head was completely blank, and she couldn't think of any idea. Ahead of the Golden Crow race is our old opponent, the Desolate Beast race. Their leaders are still that group of golden monkeys. Enemies really do meet often, said Long Chun as he looked further, and saw a group of giant desolate beasts with small monkeys jumping around them. So then what? Are we going around? The Golden Fur Heaven merging monkey race has far too many experts. If we were to attack the Golden Crow race, they might take advantage of the situation and sneak attack us, said Feng Yu, startled. She hadn't realized that there were even more enemies in front of the Golden Crow race. Hence, she couldn't help being shocked when she saw the numbers of the Desolate Beast race. The Golden Fur Heaven merging monkey race was the king of the desolate beasts, having the ability to order all desolate beasts. Last time, The Desolate Beast race's sneak attack had been a hasty attack to wipe out the injured mixed beast race, which meant that they hadn't brought out their whole army. Their actual power was actually greater as they had many races amongst them. The proof was the Desolate Beasts here. They were all elites amongst elites with terrifying power, particularly the golden monkeys. Feng Yu was worried about her people. If all that remained of the mixed beast race was herself, that would be the worst-case scenario. If that were to happen, it would be meaningless even if she could kill more enemies. Long Chun looked at those resting desolate beasts and suddenly clapped, a sinister smile appearing on his face. "Don't move. Leave things to me." Long Chun had everyone rest here and went toward the Golden Crow race alone. Long Chun. Feng Yu jumped in fright. Seeing him go toward the Golden Crow race so nonchalantly, she knew that a single attack would directly kill him. She wanted to follow him, but Long Chun just waved his hand, telling her not to. Feng Yu and the rest of the mixed beast race's experts were extremely worried, staring at Long Chun's back anxiously. When Long Chun arrived at the Golden Crow race's territory, the Golden Crow race's experts instantly tensed, pointing their cold weapons at Long Chun. However, since Long Chun didn't release any aura, they didn't immediately attack. Someone then shouted at him to stop. However, Long Chun didn't reply and just tossed something at them. When that person caught it, his expression instantly changed, and he ran deeper into their camp. Very quickly, 7 experts of the Golden Crow race walked out. When those 7 experts appeared, the mixed beast race's experts were shocked as all 7 were on the same level as Feng Yu. The 7 of them exchanged some words with Long Chun. Very quickly, they turned toward Feng Yu and the others, nodding. Following that, Long Chun beckoned toward the mixed beast race. When they came over, amazingly, the Golden Crow race's camp actually split open, forming a path for them. Seeing Feng Yu and the others' vigilant expressions and disbelief, Long Chun had to walk over and lead them through the Golden Crow race's camp. "Long Chun, what did you do?" asked Feng Yu. The entire mixed beast race felt as if they were dreaming. The domineering and tyrannical Golden Crow race actually made a path for them. Even having personally witnessed it, they still didn't believe it. Boss Long San has long since swept through the world, and they have always been looking up to me. Not wanting to fight, they naturally made a path for us, replied Long Chun. In truth, Long Chun had simply directly given them a leaf with flames burning on it. That leaf came from the primal chaos space's Fusang tree. The legend had it that the Golden Crow race's original abode was on the Fusang tree. As a result, their flames formed a resonance with the Fusang tree, and the two formed a symbiotic relationship. There was even a legend saying that when the Golden Crow race's experts grew to a certain level, they would give rise to a Fusang tree sapling in their own innate space, and it would grow alongside them. Those saplings were branches of the Fusang tree planted within those spaces. Hence, to the Golden Crow race, the Fusang tree was always viewed as a treasure as precious as their own life. Anyone who dared to damage it would be crushed with their full force. However, everyone in the outside world knew of the Fusang tree but had never seen it before. For Long Chun to toss out a leaf of the Fusang tree completely stunned the Golden Crow race. After that, their top experts immediately ran over to ask him where it came from. They were so taken aback because this single leaf's flame energy was even purer than that of their mother tree. It had to be known that they had been raising this mother tree for millions and millions of years, so this discovery was a major affair to them. Long Chun naturally didn't tell them that he had grown it himself. He came up with a story about how he had coincidentally run into a branch, and this leaf came from it. Hearing that Long Chun had a branch of the Fusang tree, their eyes turned green with greed. Long Chun had instantly had a bad feeling. These people wanted to kill him for that treasure. Without hesitation, he tossed out a 3-foot-long piece of the Fusang tree. He said that he had no use for it, but he wished to use it as a trade. He wanted a safe passage through the Golden Crow race for his people, and he expressed that his target was the group of desolate beasts. Hearing that he wanted to attack the desolate beasts, the Golden Crow race's experts jumped in shock. It had to be known that the desolate beasts numbered in the millions, and their leaders were the golden fur heaven merging monkeys. They were not pushovers. Even the Golden Crow race was hesitating about whether or not they should compete with them. On the other hand, the mixed beast race numbered only a few 100,000, and the majority of them didn't seem that strong. They wanted to attack the desolate beast race? The Golden Crow race was caught off guard by that statement. Opening a path would cost them nothing. After all, they had accepted a treasure from Long Chun, so they didn't feel good refusing. They could obtain a treasure and also get a show to watch, alright? Why would they refuse? They even had a certain thought. If Long Chun and the desolate beasts were to fight to the bitter end, wouldn't that give them the perfect opportunity to seize their territories as well? They could even wipe the two forces out. Thus, the domineering Golden Crow race did not reject Long Chen's proposal. They even cooperated with them nicely. Feng Yu and the others didn't know about this, so they couldn't believe their eyes. As for Long Chun, he didn't bother explaining. Just like that, he brought them through the Golden Crow race's territory. Just as they were passing through, Long Chun gave a certain look to everyone, and another bomb appeared in his hand. Everyone directly understood, and all the experts who had been given bombs prepared themselves. After that, Long Chun indicated their assault target. They would cover the desolate beast race with bombs. Under the cover of the Golden Crow race's flames, Long Chun tossed his bomb, and the others imitated him. Dozens of bombs accurately landed within the desolate beast race's camp. The desolate beast race was not on particularly high guard against the Golden Crow race. After all, even if they were to fight each other, it would be a probing blow first to see who was stronger. If there was a large power disparity, the stronger side would decide to attack in full power to wipe the weaker side out. If they were evenly matched, normally there wouldn't be a bloody battle because neither side was willing to accept the price of such a battle. It was due to this that the desolate beast race was resting here. While they were relaxed, dozens of bombs descended from the heavens, not triggering their alarm. After the bombs exploded, fragments of immortal metal flew through their ranks, tearing through their powerful physical bodies like paper. A single fragment would only exhaust its power after it had passed through several bodies. After that, the exhausted fragments would also explode and cause even more devastation. The exhausted fragments would always explode inside the desolate beasts they were embedded in, dealing a fatal blow. As a result, the detonation of dozens of bombs ravaged the desolate beast race. Even the stronger life forms that managed to survive were covered in wounds. As for the golden fur heaven-merging monkeys at the center, they were Long Chen's main targets. In truth, although he had taken out a single bomb, he actually tossed 5, and they exploded at different times. This bombardment caught them completely off guard. The majority of the desolate beasts were either killed or half-killed from this assault. Their leaders had taken the most wounds. In the end, only a few hundred of the golden fur heaven-merging monkeys survived. Their leader shouted as if giving orders. At this time, a golden spear sliced through the air, aimed directly at the leader. Feng Yu's decisive strike was unleashed. Adorned with a regal golden crown and wielding a black staff, the leader brimmed with power. As Feng Yu closed in for the attack, a surge of murderous intent emanated from the leader. Its fur bristled, and a primal blood chi surged forth, signaling the start of a fierce confrontation. Boom! The two divine weapons clashed, shaking the entire world, causing astral winds to unfurl. At this moment, two leading figures appeared amongst the ranks of the desolate beasts. Long Chun recognized them as the two monkeys who had sneak attacked the mixed beast race and fled alive. Long Chun immediately raised his golden crossbow and shot a golden streak of light. The next moment, one of the two monkeys howled and covered its golden but with both hands, jumping into the sky. What a familiar sight. Let's call it a hole-in-one but assault. Long Chun smiled and waved his hand, leading the mixed beast race's experts forward. Brothers, don't be afraid. The survivors are all injured from the blast. We can crush them easily. The time of the mixed beast race has come, and every single one of you is a main character. Use the blood of your enemies to illuminate the glory of the mixed beast race. Use your bravery to carve the name of the mixed beast race into the depths of everyone's soul. In the future, the name of the mixed beast race will be synonymous with fearless heroes. Anyone who dares to be enemies with the mixed beast race will suffer an unbearable loss, shouted Long Chun. When it came to raising morale, Long Chun was unparalleled. The mixed beast race had never heard such a passionate speech before. Even an ordinary person would feel their blood heating up after hearing such a speech. Yet, to the mixed beast race who constantly faced suppression and bullying, these words were like a potent elixir, igniting their souls. Their eyes instantly turned scarlet, burning with flames of emotions. In front of their old enemies, their most primal killing desire was fully unleashed. In their berserk state, the mixed beast race's experts launched furious attacks, displaying a combat power that sent shivers down the spectators' spines. Boom! Fighting their leader, Feng Yu unleashed a devastating blow that made it spit out blood and fly back. Long Chun was startled by this result. When he looked at Feng Yu, he saw that she was like a different person. Runes flowed all around her, and there was the image of an ancient phoenix on her forehead. Now, Feng Yu looked like an awakened ancient phoenix. Her blazing blood chi filled the sky. Oh! Long Chun hadn't expected the one most affected by his little speech to be Feng Yu. When her essence blood ignited, even the Golden Crow race's expert whom they had passed by felt fear toward her. Die! Feng Yu's spear pierced toward the leader. This golden fur heaven-merging monkey had been fighting evenly against her. But after Long Chen's speech, she went crazy, and every blow forced it back. At this moment, the void beside Long Chun twisted, revealing the but-assaulted golden monkey. No one knew what kind of divine ability it used, but it popped out like it had teleported. However, even before its emergence, Long Chun already swung his hand without so much as a glance. To everyone's surprise, Long Chen's hand seemed to intercept it before it even appeared. The timing was impeccable, the strike landing precisely as the monkey materialized. Pow! The monkey seemed to have teleported just to send its face to Long Chen's palm. When his palm struck its target, a violet lightning rune flashed on it. The golden monkey's head burst on the spot, but to Long Chen's surprise, it was still alive. I should have put in some more energy, grumbled Lei Linger. That's enough, Long Chen laughed. If Lei Linger had put in any more force, although that monkey would be dead, his own hand would have been injured. While the monkey survived now, it was spinning from being slapped so hard. Before it landed, the mixed beast race's experts had torn it to pieces. While Long Chun slew this golden monkey, on Feng Yu's side, she unleashed another strike that forced the monkey leader to spit out blood. All of a sudden, the monkey leader let out a few shrieks. It actually borrowed the force of Feng Yu's attack to flee. Once it fled, the rest of the desolate beasts fell into chaos and tried to run as well. However, the mixed beast race had surrounded them, not letting their old enemies off no matter what. As for Feng Yu, she didn't chase their leader and just went after another one of their top experts, killing her target in just a few moves. Another 6-star heavenly Doyen fruit appeared in Long Chen's primal chaos space, originating from the non-but-assaulted monkey. To be fair, the but-assaulted one also yielded a 6-star heavenly Doyen fruit, adding to Long Chen's impressive bounty. Other than the 6-star heavenly Doyen fruits, there were countless others, littering the ground beneath the heavenly Dao tree. They quickly covered up the tree. It seems that the one to flee was a 7-star heavenly Doyen on the same level as Feng Yu. Long Chun looked at these fruits curiously. Up until now, Feng Yu was the strongest Doyen he had ever encountered. She should be on par with that monkey leader Ning Tian. However, Feng Yu wasn't that strong before. According to Long Chen's estimate, she had been a 6-star heavenly Doyen and had transformed after obtaining her ancestors' inheritance. In other words, the rankings of heavenly Doyens could change. He wondered if there were 8-star and 9-star Doyens as well. Just as Long Chun was wondering, the mixed beast race's roars brought him back to reality. The aftermath of the battle left the ground strewn with lifeless bodies. The sight of the golden monkey corpses, in particular, filled the mixed beast race's experts with satisfaction. For so many years, the golden fur heaven-merging monkeys had constantly tormented them. But now, their vendetta was finally settled. Feng Yu descended gracefully, her flames gradually subsiding. In the recent battles, she had vanquished numerous formidable foes. Aside from the 6-star Heavenly Doyen, none could withstand a single strike from her. The mixed beast race had just gone through an intense battle, but all of their warriors were still in high spirits, appearing completely unstoppable. Taking advantage of them still in their peak condition, Long Chun went through the battlefield and gathered the corpses. Not resting at all, they continued onward. In front of them was a group of the devil race. When Feng Yu and Long Chun arrived, they didn't say anything and just opened a path for them. They could see that they couldn't stop the mixed beast race, knowing that anyone who fought them would suffer. However, this kind of state would not last for long. The deeper they went, the more dangerous it would be for them. Once they stopped advancing, there would be no going back. In the eyes of the devil race, the mixed beast race was extremely foolish. None of them wanted to fight these crazy people because they weren't idiots, so they directly opened a path for the crazies. Long Chun seemed to have long since expected this, so he directly led the mixed beast race forward. The disturbance of their battle had drawn the attention of countless individuals. Having seen the mixed beast race fighting like madmen, these people did not wish to antagonize them, so they all got out of the way. The further Long Chun and his companions went, the more experts they would see. If they were to encounter a faction that far surpassed them in power, they would be doomed. At this moment, the mixed beast race's people still seemed somewhat insane. Seeing these powerful factions opening a path for them, they felt an unprecedented excitement. Even if they couldn't enter the fantasy spirit world, they were already satisfied. Outsiders might struggle to comprehend the depth of their emotions, but after enduring years of neglect and relentless bullying, they felt this sense of existence more important than anything else. After passing by a dozen factions, Long Chun finally raised his hand to make them stop. Before them stood a group of experts cloaked in ominous black chi, emanating an aura of impending death that sent shivers down the spines of the mixed beast race's warriors. From among those experts, an extremely large bald man walked straight toward Long Chun. When he appeared, Feng Yu instantly clenched her spear. The aura of the netherworld. When Long Chun saw this bald man, his heart shook, and the image of Wu Tian appeared in his mind. What made Long Chun feel curious was that their auras were a bit similar. However, they were fundamentally different. That was because this person had the aura of the underworld race on him. Wu Tian was from the nether race, the archenemy of the underworld race. If this person was from the same race as Wu Tian, he wouldn't possibly have the aura of the underworld race on him. The bald man was also looking at Long Chun. When their eyes met, Long Chun felt his chi flowing rapidly within him. This bald man was extremely dangerous, triggering Long Chun's sense of danger. If Long Chun let this baldy get any closer, his astral energy would automatically erupt, and there would be no concealing his true power at that point. Feng Yu stared at the bald man with vigilance and clenched her spear tightly. Her intuition was screaming at her that this baldy was dangerous. A human? Why does your aura make me feel such dislike? The bald man stopped where he was and looked at Long Chun coldly. They were 300 meters apart. This was the limit. Any closer, and Long Chun's astral energy would erupt. Long Chun could tell that this baldy was masking his power as well, and if they got any closer, his power would erupt in the same way. It seemed that both parties were concealing their true strength. It's very simple. You dislike me because I have more hair on my head than you? Replied Long Chun as he shrugged and smiled. Under normal circumstances, Feng Yu and the others might have burst into laughter at such a statement. But now, silence hung heavy in the air. Feng Yu felt a chill creeping over her soul as she instinctively summoned her golden shield. The bald man's gaze hardened, and the people around him mirrored his hostility, their weapons materializing in their grasp. Seeing this, the mixed beast race's experts readied themselves for combat. As the tension thickened, the surrounding factions pulled back, creating more space for them to fight. In truth, this place was no longer far from the gate, so those who could come here were essentially peak experts. A single gaze from them was enough to scare off others and let them go through. While scuffles were constant in the outer region, this place was much quieter. However, once a battle started in this place, it would definitely be a shocking battle. Thus, the surrounding experts quickly retreated. Long Chun, be careful. I'm not confident in defeating him, transmitted Feng Yu. Don't worry, I'm also not confident in beating you, said the bald man lightly. Feng Yu was shocked. This man actually heard her spiritual message as well. Furthermore, you have a sinister human with you. We should be the ones to worry, added the bald man. Hearing that, Feng Yu and the others were shocked. Why did this bald man have such a high opinion of Long Chun? However, Long Chun truly did have endless tricks up his sleeves. So the mixed beast race's experts thought that the bald man was scared of those tricks, unaware that the baldy was actually on guard against Long Chun's true power. A smart head really doesn't grow hair. The legends are true. I'm curious, are you from the netherworld? Or are you a native expert? Asked Long Chun in a friendly manner. The bald man didn't reply and counter-asked instead. I don't like the human race, but not to the point of feeling such loathing. Whenever I see you, I feel disgust deep in my soul. Can you tell me why that is? Didn't I tell you? Our conflicts stem from the black and dense hair on my head. Long Chun pointed to his hair. The fact that Long Chun teased their leader twice caused the experts around the bald man to grow restless. Their killing intent was blazing. However, the bald man was quite calm, not revealing the slightest bit of anger. His eyes were locked onto Long Chun as if trying to pierce through his soul. Long Chun suddenly smiled. You're eager to uncover my secrets, just as I am to uncover yours. Yet, when I asked, you didn't answer. Similarly, I don't have the obligation to answer you either. How about we have a fair exchange? You can ask me a question and I'll answer. Then I'll pose a question, and you do the same. Oh? It's not a bad idea, but the human race is treacherous. How do I know that you'll tell the truth? Asked the bald man. Long Chen's tone dropped in disdain. This just proves that you aren't on the same level as me. Fine, pretend I didn't say anything. But out of my way, we're moving forward. Feng Yu and the others jumped in fright. Long Chun intended to pass by this terrifying person? The bald man frowned. With a hint of reluctance, he said, Fine. I'll trust you this once. I'll ask you first. Why do you have the aura of the Netherworld's god race on you? Because my woman comes from the Netherworld's god race. Long Chun answered directly. It's my turn. What relation do you have with the three-headed heaven-devouring beast race? Just who are you? The bald man's voice boomed. His calmness shattered. A surge of killing intent exploded out of him, causing his subordinates' auras to flare up. The mixed beast race's people involuntarily took a step back in the face of this overwhelming presence, not out of lack of courage, but driven by an instinctual fear that penetrated deep into their souls. Feng Yu stepped in front of Long Chun, ready to fight at any moment. Seeing this, Long Chun simply smiled and told her not to worry. Answer me, Long Chun said. Brat, you're courting death. You dare to repeatedly offend me, Wu Hun, threatened the bald man as he pointed his broadsword at Long Chun. Answer me, otherwise. Don't blame me for being ruthless, repeated Long Chun. Long Chen's smile suddenly vanished, replaced by an icy killing intent. The atmosphere grew so cold that it felt as though the world itself had been encased in ice, causing even the heavenly Taoists to quiver. Upon hearing this person's name, Long Chun instantly understood. He was a traitor to the three-headed heaven-devouring beast race. When Long Chun unleashed his killing intent, it felt like the world had dropped into the domain of death. Every person felt their soul shudder as if someone pressed an invisible blade against their throats. Feng Yu and the others were utterly stunned. Long Chen's killing intent possessed a physical force behind it, startling even the heavenly Taoists. This showed that Long Chen had killed countless lifeforms. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to condense such a terrifying killing intent. Feng Yu found herself looking at Long Chun in a new light, her eyes wide with astonishment. She struggled to reconcile this terrifying presence with the image of someone who primarily relied on concealed weapons and cunning tricks. Glaring at this bald man called Wu Hun, Long Chun was overflowing with killing intent. However, he still hesitated on whether or not he should kill this traitor now. As Wu Tian's little brother, Long Chun had a responsibility to help him wipe out traitors. However, Long Chun also had something holding him back. He was not alone. The mixed beast race was here by his side. If a battle started now, it would definitely implicate the mixed beast race. Although he hadn't known them for long, he understood their characters. Once they started fighting, they wouldn't retreat. Even if they knew they would die, they would not turn their backs to their enemies. If Long Chun were to cause the deaths of the mixed beast race due to his own affairs, he wouldn't be at ease. Under these conflicted feelings, Long Chun chose to leave the decision to Wu Hun. If Wu Hun answered properly, Long Chun would accept it. If he didn't, Long Chun would unleash his full power and kill all of them in the fastest time possible to keep the casualties to a minimum. When Long Chun directed his threat toward Wu Hun, the latter's subordinates brimmed with indignation. Never before had they encountered such blatant disrespect. The weapons they held trembled in their hands, reflecting their simmering fury. Tension hung heavy in the air, suffocating any sound. Long Chun and Wu Hun locked eyes, their gazes icy and unwavering. I, Wu Hun, am a bloodline heir to the three-headed heaven-devouring beast, Wu Hun declared with a sneer. I am answering your question not out of fear, but because my pride doesn't permit me to lie. Feng Yu hadn't expected Wu Hun to really answer Long Chen's question. Although Wu Hun had said something arrogant in the end, Feng Yu could tell that Wu Hun was intimidated by Long Chun. A bloodline heir to the three-headed heaven-devouring beast? Long Chen's heart shook. Wu Hun was clearly dodging the important point with this answer. However, how could Long Chun not tell the truth? A bloodline heir? In other words, he wasn't really part of the three-headed heaven-devouring beast race. Long Chun now understood why Wu Hun only bore a slight resemblance to Wu Tian but was fundamentally different. In other words, Wu Hun only had a portion of the three-headed heaven-devouring beast race's bloodline. As for where that bloodline came from, it was probably an absolute secret. My turn. What relationship do you have with the three-headed heaven-devouring beast race? Asked Wu Hun coldly. His gaze turned sharp. Have you thought this through? If I answer this question, you'll need to answer another one of mine, asked Long Chun lightly. Immediately, Wu Hun's expression changed. He had wasted his first question to get an absolutely worthless response. But Long Chen's question had directly struck his secrets. If Long Chen's next question were to touch upon Wu Hun's core secrets, would he really answer? Fine, we'll stop here. Little fellow, I've remembered you. We'll settle our business in the future, replied Wu Hun gloomily. His meaning was clear. He was no longer willing to exchange questions with Long Chun, and he also didn't plan on fighting now. However, the next time they met, there would be no misgivings. They would have a real fight. If he won, all of Long Chen's secrets would be his. To put it frankly, he had the same worries as Long Chun. He wanted a simple one-on-one fight with Long Chun, but the circumstances did not allow it. Long Chun nodded. Hopefully, we will meet again soon. I'm also very interested in you. After saying that, Long Chun waved his hand. Get out of the way. You! The experts beside Wu Hun seethed with anger, but Wu Hun raised his hand, indicating for them to make a path for Long Chun and the mixed beast race's people. Let's go. Long Chun swaggered past Wu Hun and the others, ignoring their furious gazes. The mixed beast race felt the chills as they passed by. After all, Wu Hun's subordinates were extremely powerful, surpassing the quality of the mixed beast race's army by a lot. However, despite their unease, they put on a strong front. This was their best chance to strike fear into the hearts of their enemies. With Long Chun leading the way, they walked past the camp of the underworld race, attracting the shocked stares of many experts in the surroundings. They all knew just how terrifying Wu Hun was. They were already prepared to get out of the way for him. Yet, as he showed no urgency to move forward, they just stood where they were. However, the moment Wu Hun's army sought to advance, they would promptly clear the path for him. Surprisingly, the terrifying Wu Hun actually got out of the way for Long Chun. When Long Chun passed through, the people in front didn't even wait for Long Chun to say anything and directly opened a path for him. What kind of joke was that? They couldn't possibly provoke an existence that intimidated Wu Hun. After passing through the third faction, Long Chun noticed that the factions in front no longer opened a path for them. However, Long Chun also decided to stop and have everyone rest there. At this time, the mixed beast races experts were looking at him in a new light. Even the ones who liked to chat with Long Chun were now silent, nor daring to joke with him. They were no fools. Although Long Chun had not displayed any of his power just now, just from his conversation with Wu Hun, they knew that his true power was not what he had displayed to them. Long Chun, thank you. Feng Yu looked at him with a complicated expression and also a sense of loss. She now knew that Long Chun was a true expert. From her point of view, Long Chen's act of weakness was to look after her, helping her stand in the most glorious position in front of her people. Reflecting on her previous words and actions toward him, she was overwhelmed with shame. How could she walk proudly now? There's no need for thanks between us. Long Chun smiled and winked at her. He was really fond of this large beauty's pure and straightforward nature. He found her presence comforting, although this sentiment had no romantic connotations. While everyone rested here, Long Chun took out a formation disc, which revealed 7 glowing runes. When Long Chun saw them, his smile widened. Finally here. The formation disc had specific runes on it. When the first one lit up, Long Chun could sense the general direction of Xia Chan and the others, and when 7 runes lit up, they would be able to send messages to each other. The runes in the formation disc flickered in a special sequence, and Long Chun completely relaxed upon seeing it. Long Chun, what is this? Why are you so happy? Inquired Feng Yu as she looked curiously at the formation disc in his hand. It was her first time seeing him looking so happy. I've gotten in touch with my brothers. They're all doing well, replied Long Chun. The flashing pattern on the formation disc was a secret message only they knew of. Guoran had sent word that everything proceeded smoothly on their end. The Dragonblood Legion had assembled in full force, with not a single member missing. There was also some good news. On the way to the entrance to the Void Spirit World, they encountered some of their long-lost brothers and managed to reunite with them. Now, they were on the edge of the outer region and hesitated to go to the core region around the gate. It was because, throughout their journey, they had faced numerous battles, encountering several native factions who harbored animosity toward them. Hence, Guoran was very worried about being the main target of everyone once they got to the core region. However, if they didn't get to the core, even more of their brothers in the surroundings wouldn't know about their arrival, and they would miss this chance to reunite. Thus, Guoran felt very conflicted. Long Chun quickly sent a message back, telling them not to be rash and keep waiting. He also started to insert top-grade spirit stones into the formation disc. In just a bit, fluctuations came from the formation disc, and a fist-sized whirlpool appeared from it. This was a mini-transportation formation. Due to the immense distance and chaotic spatial energy, this mini-gate could only allow small objects to pass through, not people. Long Chun quickly gathered the top-grade heavenly Doyen fruits in the primal chaos space. Apart from the 3 6-star fruits, he also collected tens of 5-star fruits, with the remainder being 4-star. He packed over 10,000 of these fruits into a single world stone and transmitted it through the mini-spatial gate. Buzz. As the spatial gate quivered, the world stone vanished. Seeing this scene, Long Chun breathed a sigh of relief at the successful transportation. He knew that this method of transportation carried a high risk of failure, especially during the instantaneous transfer process. However, this time he had succeeded. Suddenly, the formation disc cracked, its runes dimming abruptly. Long Chun had anticipated this outcome. Once the transportation was complete, the lifespan of the formation disc would expire. This formation disc was exceedingly precious. Xia Chan had only crafted 2 of them, specifically for long-distance communication and item transfer. Although Long Chun had lost his means to communicate with them, successfully sending so many heavenly Doyen fruits over made it all worth it. After all, the Dragonblood Legion was in great need of them. Those newly found brothers in particular might not have had a good time since ascending. The heavenly Doyen fruits would undoubtedly transform their lives for the better. Long Chun looked into the primal chaos space, where millions of excess heavenly doyen fruits remained. He couldn't help but grumble. What am I supposed to do with so many fruits? Juice them. They have a shocking use, but you still don't have the ability to use them. The Earth Cauldron's voice rang out in Long Chen's mind. Senior, what am I missing? Asked Long Chun, feeling delighted to hear the Earth Cauldron. Once you become a heaven venerate and possess the power of the 3 talents, you will be able to refine these heavenly doyen fruits into pills, replied the Earth Cauldron. And what is that supposed to do? They already work when they're not refined into pills, inquired Long Chun. When I say refine, I don't mean 1-to-1. You can use 99 heavenly doyen fruits of the same tier to refine a heavenly doyen pill of a higher tier, instructed the Earth Cauldron. Are you serious? Long Chen's jaw dropped as he heard this piece of information. Don't get too happy though. If you want to refine the heavenly doyen pill, you will truly be defying the heavens. Other than becoming a heaven venerate and mastering the 3 talents, you will need to condense the heavenly doyen flame first. After all, only the heavenly doyen flame can refine the heavenly doyen pill. Once it receives the recognition of the entire world, it will have the ability to defy the heavens and challenge fate, explained the Earth Cauldron. What is the heavenly doyen flame? Asked Long Chun. To condense the heavenly doyen flame, you will need to temper yourself in the primal chaos flame sea. Well, it's a long story. You should become a heaven venerate first. I'll tell you about it later, answered the Earth Cauldron. As Long Chun heard that, his newly ignited excitement waned. It seemed that accomplishing this task would be as difficult as ascending the heavens. Yet, the fact that the Earth Cauldron mentioned it implied that it was possible. Otherwise, it wouldn't have bothered bringing it up. Suddenly, a rumble jolted Long Chun out of the primal chaos space. He was astonished to see the once clear sky now shrouded in darkness, and a colossal warhorse was approaching from the distance, soaring through the air. The warhorse was like an enormous mountain. Furthermore, its aura was absolutely shocking, rivaling that of a sage king. What truly stunned them was its skeletal form, devoid of flesh and blood, with the bridle and saddle on the brink of collapse. It emanated an aura akin to a warhorse from the depths of hell, each step causing the earth to tremble. That wasn't all. As it soared through the air, they saw it pulling a bronze war chariot over. The chariot was covered in patches of rust, lending it an ancient and weathered appearance. Its aura was nothing short of astonishing, causing a profound impact on everyone's souls, as if the chariot's passage wasn't through the air, but through their very souls. The white-bone warhorse wasn't running, yet it was incredibly fast. Long Chun had barely seen it, and it was already hovering above his head. At this time, countless people were clutching their heads in agony as if their heads would explode. Normally, anyone flying over a group of people would provoke attacks from everyone. However, no one dared to make a sound in front of this warhorse and war chariot. They were all terrified. That human brat down below. Why do you have the god race's aura on you? Just then, a sinister voice rang out from within the war chariot, causing heaven and earth to rumble in response. It was like the battle drums of gods shaking the world. The white-bone war horse pulling the bronze chariot shook the entire world. It flew arrogantly above their heads, and no one dared to stop or even say anything about it. At this moment, the war chariot stopped above Long Chun and his companions. When the sinister voice rang out, all the hearts of the mixed beast race's experts clenched. They looked toward Long Chun in shock. Just what kind of background did he have? Another terrifying expert had taken special note of him. First, it was the underworld race's Wu Hun, and now it was this mysterious, terrifying existence. Long Chen's good mood quickly soured, his expression darkening considerably. To borrow Boss Long San's words, other people could be arrogant, but none could surpass Boss Long San. Faced with this fellow who exuded arrogance akin to a god looking down on an ant, Long Chen's anger flared uncontrollably. Scram! Not wasting any time, Long Chun used only a single word to express his displeasure. Seeing this scene, numerous experts around them quivered with horror. Just what kind of background did Long Chun have to dare speak like this to this terrifying expert? It had to be known that even if they ignored whoever occupied the chariot, the mere presence of the horse alone was sufficient to instill fear in the hearts of the top experts here. Feng Yu clenched her golden spear, ready to fight at any moment. She couldn't afford to freeze in fear anymore. "You ignorant fool! Do you know who you're speaking to?" A voice filled with sinister killing intent came out of the war chariot. "You can be whoever you want. I don't like you, so scram. Otherwise, I'll break that tortoise shell of yours," replied Long Chun coldly. Although this chariot was terrifying, Long Chun believed that as long as he used the earth cauldron, he could smash it apart. However, he didn't know whether or not the earth cauldron would be willing to help him. Long Chun felt a surge of animosity toward the owner of the voice. Unbeknownst to him, this was somewhat similar to what Wu Hun felt toward him. After all, Long Chun only disliked Wu Hun because the latter was a traitor to the three-headed heaven-devouring beast race. As for this person, Long Chun didn't even know his identity or origin. Yet his voice alone was enough to stoke the flames of anger within him. Long Chun even had the urge to charge out and kill him right now. It was like someone was mocking him from a luxurious carriage while he walked barefoot in torn clothes on the street. Long Chun found the feeling very displeasing. However, what Long Chun didn't realize was that this feeling stemmed not from envy, but from the depths of his soul. Humph, ignorant people really are fearless. If I were to kill you personally, it would be giving you too much credit. However, provoking a god comes at a price, sneered that person. The war horse continued onward, dragging the chariot. He somehow ignored Long Chun. "You must have some mental illness. What kind of dog's hit are you spouting? There's no logic behind it at all," cursed Long Chun. "Do you think an ant can understand a god's words? The karma has been set. You will die at my hands sooner or later. However, whether it is directly or indirectly will be up to your luck." That person's sneer came from a great distance away. Hearing this, Long Chun almost spat out blood from rage. He had seen arrogant people but never someone so arrogant. His eyes had been opened to a new level of arrogance in this world. Long Chun, who was he? Seeing him vanish into the distance, Feng Yu finally sighed with relief. "He comes from the Netherworld's god race." The Netherworld's god race. Long Chun suddenly had a thought. The Netherworld had three major factions: the Underworld race, the Nether race, and the God race. The Nether and Underworld races were like fire and water, fighting to the death the moment they saw each other. Their enmity could not be described with simple words. As for the Netherworld's God race, they didn't participate in their battle. Neither of those two races wanted to gain another powerful enemy, so they had quite a good relationship with the God race. Although there were some small scuffles between them, large-scale wars were pretty much non-existent. Earlier, when Wu Hun asked Long Chun about his God race aura, Long Chun hadn't attached much significance to it. Moreover, Wu Hun's overwhelming arrogance prevented him from probing Long Chun even further. Now that Feng Yu inquired about the identity of that arrogant jackass, the realization struck Long Chun like lightning. This fellow was from the God race, much like Lang Huiyan and Ming Tsongyue. The thought of them caused Long Chun's fury to dissipate, replaced instead by a sense of longing. Ugh! I shouldn't have let my anger get the best of me. I could have gained some information about them, or even Big Brother Wu Tian. Long Chun slapped his own leg in regret. Long Chun was unable to rest easy when he thought about Lang Huiyan and Ming Tsongyue. The two of them were alone in the dangerous netherworld, with no one else to depend on. Other than that, the majority of the Netherworld's factions were under the command of the Underworld race. The Nether race had been teetering on the brink of collapse, and revitalizing them would be as challenging as ascending to the heavens for Wu Tian. Long Chun also missed this big brother of his, which was why he almost went berserk upon encountering a traitor from Wu Tian's bloodline. The Netherworld's god race? Then how can that person be so terrifying? "You shouldn't have offended him," sighed Feng Yu. Long Chun smiled and patted her shoulder. "The path of cultivation is fraught with challenges, and most of those things won't just pass if you grit your teeth and suffer through them. If you endure them, others will press you for more until you are pushed to the limits. By then, it may be too late to fight back." Just like with that arrogant jackass, if you gave in once, he'd see you as an easy target to bully. Establishing authority from the start was crucial. Otherwise, he would have attacked immediately. If I were to concede just a bit, he would no longer fear me. Feng Yu nodded. You're so smart. He doesn't know how strong you are, so he doesn't dare to be rash. Correct. Long Chun nodded with a smile. But what if you couldn't scare him away? Asked Feng Yu. Long Chun simply smiled and didn't reply, thinking that if the arrogant jackass persisted, he would put him in his place and demonstrate that there was a hefty price for acting more arrogant than Boss Long San. Just then, the gate at the very front rumbled, causing Feng Yu and the others to tense up. The fantasy spirit world is about to open. Feng Yu's voice quivered. Looking toward the gate, Long Chun saw the enormous spatial gate starting to quiver. Above it, a terrifying vortex was steadily growing in size. If you don't want to die, get out of the way. Just then, a furious roar rang out, coming from a bald man who led countless experts charging forward. This baldy was none other than the underworld race's Wu Hun. The underworld race's experts had cast off their low-key robes to become a tyrannical force, and they would annihilate anyone who dared to block their path. In an instant, chaos erupted on the battlefield. Several nearby factions, who had been concealing their power, were charging forward just like Wu Huns. Long Chun, take advantage of this chaos to get to the void spirit world, exclaimed Feng Yu with a hint of unwillingness. She knew that this was Long Chen's best chance to leave. Feng Yu had thought it through. Once Long Chen left, she would keep the mixed beast race here, and once the first wave of experts had passed, she would lead her people forward. As long as they avoided the strongest experts in the first batch, she should have the power to protect everyone and get them through the gate in one piece. As long as they all got in, it would be considered a victory. Long Chun was a bit worried about the mixed beast race, but just as Feng Yu said, leaving now really was the best option. Just as he was about to reply, the Earth Cauldron's voice rang out in his mind. There is no need for you to do such a thing. You might as well enter from the fantasy spirit world's entrance. Once you're inside, I can help you break the walls of that world, and you will be able to easily enter the void spirit world from there. Other than that, the fantasy spirit world's entrance is filled with native experts. These people are powerful, but they don't recognize many treasures, especially medicinal ingredients and ores. I am sure you understand what I mean. You really can break through the walls between worlds? Asked Long Chen. Of course. It's easy, replied the Earth Cauldron in such a light tone that it bordered on disdain. Such a task was nothing for it. Then doesn't that mean you would have been able to send me in even if it wasn't through the world of the ninth heaven? Asked Long Chen. Of course. However, walking that kind of shortcut would definitely invoke such karma that it could kill you. This place is different. This so-called world of the ninth heaven is fundamentally a passageway. So breaking through to a new world from here will not invoke karma. So that's the case. Long Chun was delighted to hear this. Since the Earth Cauldron was so sure of it, there should be no problem. Long Chun, hurry. It's going to be too late if you keep waiting here. Feng Yu grabbed Long Chen's hand and shook it worriedly. Seeing him not respond, she thought that he was hesitating about it. She did wish Long Chun could stay, but she wasn't so selfish. According to custom, the outside world's experts would only obtain the best opportunities if they entered the void spirit world. Seeing her reaction, Long Chun smiled and didn't reply. He just patted the blood-colored saber on his back, and it let out a cry as if smelling blood. Long Chun shouted, "Warriors of the mixed beast race, the fantasy spirit world's gate is right before us. Once we are past that gate, we will be able to change our fates and defy the heavens. The path of cultivation is fraught with bloodshed, and each of us must fight to cross it. Hence, no one can stay at the top forever. Your lives were bestowed upon you by your father and mother, but your destiny is forged by your own hands. With the chance to change your fate within reach, I ask you, do you have the guts to take this gamble with me?" Long Chen's voice was full of a wild domineeringness that fully ignited the blood of the mixed beast race's experts. Long Chun. Feng Yu covered her mouth, tears streaming down her face. The mixed beast race erupted into thunderous roars that shook the heavens. There was no need for a verbal reply. The resounding roar that emanated from the depths of their hearts and souls was the most powerful response. Good. Since you're willing to gamble with me, let's go wild. I don't dare to say that you will definitely win, but I will not let you lose. Move out. Our target is the fantasy spirit world. If gods block us, slay gods. If devils block us, slay devils. No one can stop our march. With that, Long Chen started walking forward. If gods block us, slay gods. If devils block us, slay devils. If gods block us, slay gods. If devils block us, slay devils. If gods block us, slay gods. If devils block us, slay devils. Long Chen's domineeringness had infected the mixed beast race's experts. Hence, they just followed Long Chen akin to a sharp blade piercing through, and Long Chen was the tip of that blade. Feng Yu followed close behind Long Chen. As she looked at his back, more tears streamed out of her eyes. She had never felt so moved in this lifetime. This back provided her with a sense of security. Even if she had to pass through a mountain of blades or a sea of fire, she wouldn't feel any fear with this back in front of her. Previously, Long Chen had been concealing his true power. However, if the earth cauldron could let him pass through worlds, there was no need for him to hold back. Just like that, he fully unleashed his undefeatable aura. Long Chen didn't need to attack. Feng Yu's spear danced with deadly precision, and anyone who dared to obstruct her path, regardless of their race, met a swift end. With Long Chen present, she could go completely wild. With the mixed beast race charging forward, they quickly ended up near the underworld race's army. Although the mixed beast race started a bit later, with Feng Yu charging forward at full power, their marching speed was unbelievable. Furthermore, as the underworld race was crushing and throwing all the formations ahead of them into chaos, the mixed beast race could relax quite a bit. The underworld race's experts were displeased to see the mixed beast race following them and using them as bodyguards. Suddenly, one of the underworld race's top experts vanished. This person was one of Wu Hun's strongest subordinates, akin to his right-hand man, and he was incredibly powerful. Get back here! However, the moment he vanished, Wu Hun was startled and shouted. Unfortunately, his right-hand man was already in front of Feng Yu, thrusting a black bone sword toward her. The sword was 3 feet long and as thick as a forearm, adorned with countless barbs resembling sharp teeth. The strange weapon exuded a terrible aura that made others shiver. Courting death. Seeing this person brazenly appear in front of her and launch a direct attack without any probing blows, Feng Yu was consumed by fury. It was as if this person really thought that he could kill her in one move. Reacting swiftly, she raised her golden shield while simultaneously launching a counterattack with her golden spear. However, to her astonishment, her shield blocked nothing, and her spear found no target. Wu Hun's right-hand man had mysteriously vanished. Long Chen, watch out! Feng Yu suddenly let out a startled cry. She was shocked to find that this person had bizarrely appeared right behind Long Chen. His bone weapon perilously close to Long Chen's head, mere inches away. This underworld expert was extremely powerful. The moment he attacked Feng Yu, he also used one of the underworld race's divine abilities to blink somewhere, tricking even someone of Feng Yu's caliber. His blinking ability was incredibly bizarre, allowing him to seamlessly continue his attack unhindered. He swiftly redirected his target from Feng Yu to Long Chen's head. It all happened so fast that even an experienced expert like Feng Yu was unable to react in time. As for Long Chen, he was at the vanguard and still charging forward as if he didn't sense any danger. Feng Yu's heart clenched with worry. She rushed forward, but she knew that she couldn't make it in time. The underworld expert sneered disdainfully. It was as if he could already see his weapon stabbing through Long Chen's head. Just as his weapon was about to pierce Long Chen's head, a hand covered in starlight caught the tip of his weapon, causing the underworld expert to tremble. Following that, a streak of lightning arced across this expert, rendering him stiff. The starry hand then snapped his weapon, and Long Chen sent its tip stabbing through that expert's head, instantly extinguishing the fire of his soul. The stranger the weapon, the faster you die. Do you not understand that? Long Chen snorted. From the start, he hadn't even looked at this person. In Long Chen's view, this person was practically asking to die. He wanted to use a little trick to kill him? This unlucky bastard was far too naive. Not to mention Ing Tian's technique, this person's skill was even way below that of a second-rate assassin from the Life Hunter race. When this person died, another 6-star heavenly Doyen fruit appeared in the primal chaos space. This person was actually a powerful 6-star heavenly Doyen. However, thinking himself smart, he ended up dying effortlessly at Long Chen's hands. If he had chosen to fight directly, then Long Chen would have needed to put in some effort to kill him. To put it frankly, while this move might be effective against others, it was purely courting death when used against Long Chen. Just as Long Chen killed this person, Wu Hun appeared in front of Long Chen, wielding a black spear in his hand. The moment his subordinate moved, he already had a bad feeling. Although he had yet to exchange blows with Long Chen, based on his intuition, he knew that Long Chen was not an easy target to provoke. At the very least, his subordinate was not a match for him. Unable to stop his subordinate in time, Wu Hun immediately rushed over to save him. However, Long Chen was just too fast. Before Wu Hun could intervene in their fight, his subordinate was already dead. Scram! In front of Wu Hun, Long Chen told him to scram again. We'll see. Wu Hun seethed with rage at the loss of his powerful subordinate. Felt like a humiliating slap in the face. However, the fantasy spirit world's gate was on the verge of opening. For Wu Hun, there were two important things at this point. One was to get near the gate, and the other was to conserve his power. If he were to start a fight with Long Chen, not only would it delay his progress, but it would also use up his precious energy. It was not an acceptable loss to him. Thus, despite his rage, he endured as it wasn't the time to get revenge for his subordinate yet. The mixed beast race's experts were all stunned as they saw Long Chen kill that powerful expert effortlessly. Only now did they realize how terrifying Long Chen really was. Thinking of how a peak expert like Long Chen had addressed them as brothers, a surge of emotion heated up within them. Their reverence and gratitude for Long Chen rose to a new level. Although Feng Yu had guessed that Long Chen had been holding back and was actually strong, she hadn't expected the extent of his power to be at this level. The mixed beast race is here. If you don't want to die, make a path. Otherwise, this spear of mine will show no mercy, shouted Feng Yu, emboldened by Long Chen's impressive demonstration of power. You should control your explosive power. From now on, you must exercise restraint, advised Long Chen. What? Feng Yu was startled. Long Chen then grabbed Feng Yu's spear and unleashed a stab with it, killing an enormous beast. Feng Yu was taken aback. She had thought that only her race's core flame could activate the power of this spear. Unbeknownst to her, Long Chen had Huolinger, a flame spirit that had devoured an unknown number of flames, so it was a trivial task for him to control this spear. Furthermore, if she had intended to slay that beast, she would have done so by exploding its head with sheer force. However, Long Chen simply poked its head, and the spear pierced through with ease. The seemingly effortless act left Feng Yu wide-eyed in disbelief, unable to comprehend it. When your power is limited, you have to learn how to wield it efficiently. Use the least energy to create the greatest killing prowess. Don't just randomly unleash your power. Try condensing your flame energy onto the tip of the spear, advised Long Chen. Boom! Feng Yu tried to heed Long Chen's advice and stabbed an expert who was blocking their way. To her astonishment, that expert still exploded. Don't panic. Just try it out slowly. Put your will into the tip of the spear before attacking, explained Long Chen. Feng Yu was talented, so she quickly mastered the method Long Chen had spoken of. In the end, she successfully reduced her energy expenditure and increased her killing prowess, a development that brought her great delight. Feng Yu was exceptionally talented, yet she lacked a true master within the mixed beast race and had to rely on herself to comprehend many things. After all, the mixed beast race was not a single race but rather a coalition of various races, each with its own distinct characteristics. Hence, their way of teaching wasn't that reliable. What Long Chun taught her was nothing more than the simplest method to control her energy. But it brought Feng Yu immense joy. Pressing onward, they encountered an even more chaotic battlefield ahead, with corpses littered all over the ground. Long Chin didn't forget to clean up as they advanced. As they progressed, even more powerful experts appeared. Relying on just a powerful aura to intimidate them was no longer possible. Long Chun and the others had to show what they were made of to compel them to yield. As the gate drew closer, the battles escalated as well. However, with Feng Yu present, Long Chun essentially didn't need to fight. Instead, he gave Feng Yu pointers as she fought. Enlightened by his pointers, her power continuously grew. Despite the ongoing skirmishes, she felt invigorated and not the slightest bit fatigued. Suddenly, the air twisted. Long Chen's hand swiftly darted out, revealing a cold arrow gripped firmly within his grasp. With a sinister smile on his lips, Long Chun looked ahead. Enemies truly do meet often. It's the time to honor a promise.